Chapter 679, My mother likes you very much in her heart. Di Biming felt very gratified when he saw the palace mistress and Yun Chuzhou sitting together eating snacks. He felt that if he said that his hair had been struck by lightning, the palace mistress would vent her anger on Yun Chuzhou, so he said, "Mother, the weather has been a little hot recently, so I changed my hairstyle." The palace mistress was so angry that she was trembling. She pointed at Yun Chuzhou and scolded, "Little trash. Tell me. Was this your doing?" Biming usually pays attention to his image, but I didn't expect him to be influenced by a little trash like you and turned into a bald man. I must beat you to death today. Yun Chuzhou quickly jumped behind Di Biming. She revealed her little head and said pitifully, "Palace mistress, you wronged me. Not only did I not influence Brother Biming, but he was the one who influenced me to shave all my hair. Woo, I'm just a girl. I won't be able to see anyone in the future. You're spouting nonsense. Why would Biming come up with such a stupid idea? It must be because a little trash like you was afraid that other girls would go after Biming, so you influenced him to shave all his hair. I'm going to slap you to death today." The palace mistress was so angry that she was about to explode. "Mom! Little Jiu is right. This was all my idea. Besides, if you apply the hair growth pill, your hair will grow back in a few days. Why are you so angry? Didn't you and little Jiu have a good chat just now?" Di Biming defended Yun Chuzhou behind him and said helplessly, "I had a good chat with her. Biming, no wonder you fell in love with this little trash. There is something wrong with your eyes." The palace mistress returned to her seat angrily. Yun Chuzhou took out a handkerchief and tied it on her head. She pulled Di Biming to sit beside the stone table. "Palace mistress, please don't be angry. Let's continue drinking tea and chat. By the way, that snack is quite delicious. When you leave some for me and Brother Biming." The palace mistress glared at Yun Chuzhou fiercely. "Eat, eat, eat. What else can you do besides eating? You little trash, I want to see where you'll end up in 5 years." Not only was Yun Chuzhou not angry, she was actually moved. "Brother Biming, I told you that your mother is a sharp tongue but soft heart, right? She said that she hated me and so on, but in fact, she was very concerned about me. She was afraid that I wouldn't be able to complete the mission if I didn't cultivate properly. She urged me at any time and place. I was touched. Palace mistress, don't worry, I will work hard in my cultivation and strive to enter the top 100 of the Tianyuan Academy's prodigy roll as soon as possible. When that time comes, I will be filial to you." The palace mistress was shocked by Yun Chuzhou's delusions. She had never seen anyone with such thick skin among the people she had come into contact with. Were it was any other girl, she would have covered her face and wept long ago. This fellow was good. Not only was she not overwhelmed with grief and indignation, she was even able to turn black and white upside down. She was trying to make herself look good. She was too shameless. Di Biming saw the palace mistress' shocked expression and could not help but laugh in his heart. However, he said with a serious expression, "Yup. Little Jiu, what you said makes sense. My mother likes you very much in her heart, but she doesn't know how to express it." The palace mistress looked at Di Biming with a shocked expression. "Is this still my son who never smiles? Why is it so natural for him to lie through his teeth? Brother Biming, I know. Actually, I like elders like the palace mistress the most. I will not let down the palace mistress' painstaking efforts. I will definitely cultivate well and try my best to fulfill the palace mistress' request as soon as possible. When that time comes, we will be able to be filial to the palace mistress together." Yun Chuzhou said with a bright smile. Chapter 680, Once he has found a wife, he would forget about his own mother. When the palace mistress saw Di Biming and Yun Chuzhou chiming in, she was so angry that she wanted to brush her sleeves and leave. However, when she heard Yun Chuzhou say the word filial, she had a new idea, hence, she said indifferently, little trash, are you just saying that? Do you truly want to be filial to me? Yun Chujio nodded obediently, of course I meant it sincerely. Do you have something you want me to do? My shoulder is a little sore. Help me massage it. The palace mistress said coldly. She thought to herself, "I'll torture you. If you're mad at me, I don't believe that Bei Ming will still protect you. Massage your shoulders." "Sure, I'm the best at it. I often massage Brother Bei Ming's shoulders." Yun Chujio did not hesitate at all. She stood up and walked behind the palace mistress and began massaging her. "Didn't you just finish your snack? Use more strength. Are you trying to kill me? Be gentle. Go down a little, are you massaging my shoulders or my neck? Go up a little. I asked you to massage my shoulders, not my waist." The palace mistress was pure-hearted and kept picking on Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio was all smiles and did not refute her words. She was extremely obedient. Di Baiming could not stand it anymore and said, "Mother. If your shoulders are not feeling well, get a maid to help you. How would little Jiu know how to make it feel better? Little Jiu, stop massaging it. Sit down and chat with my mother." The palace mistress was so angry that she gritted her teeth. "How is this my son? I have simply raised an ingrate. Once he has found a wife, he would forget about his own mother." Yun Chujio said with a smile, "Brother Baiming, it's all right. I can't learn from this. For the sake of being filial to the palace mistress, I am willing to try no matter how tired I am." The palace mistress was so angry that her liver hurt. Although this little trash's spiritual power was not that great, she was too scheming. Even my foolish son would not be able to win against her. Forget it. There's no need for you. Didn't you say that you know how to grill meat? Since I'm hungry, why don't you grill some meat for me to eat? The palace mistress intentionally wanted to torment Yun Chujio. "All right. My skills in roasting meat are very good. You'll see." Yun Chujio agreed and started to get busy like a hard-working little bee. The two little tails behind Yun Chujio's head trembled and Di Baiming's heart softened. Little Joe's thoughts were clear and she would definitely be able to see that his mother was intentionally making things difficult for her, but she still tried her best to please his mother. It must be because she cared about his feelings. When the palace mistress saw Di Baiming looking at Yun Chujio lovingly, her heart felt even more stifled. This little trash did not play by the rules at all. She thought that if she were to make things difficult for her, she would definitely go against her like last time. She did not expect that this time, she would be obedient. How troublesome. Yun Chujio's hands and feet were very nimble, and in a short while, she had roasted a wind blade rabbit. She used a large kitchen knife to slice the rabbit meat thinly and gave it to the palace mistress. "Palace mistress, when I roasted it, I specially brushed it with eupatorium honey. Try it. How does it taste?" Initially, the palace mistress did not want to eat it, but when she smelled the alluring aroma of the roasted meat, she could not help but pick up a piece and put it into her mouth. This rabbit meat was roasted perfectly. It was crispy on the outside but tender on the inside. The sweetness of the honey was just right to neutralize the grease of the roasted meat. Unconsciously, the palace mistress ended up eating several pieces. "Palace mistress, my roasted meat is not bad, right?" Yun Chujio asked with a smile. The palace mistress only reacted when she heard Yun Chujio's question. She embarrassedly put down her chopsticks and said, "It's all right. Bei Ming, follow me to the Tian Yuan continent immediately. I have something for you to do." Chapter 681, Holding Hands and Growing Old Together. Di Baiming frowned slightly. "Mother, I'll go back in a few days. You should go back first. Also, you should try not to come to little Joe's place in the future. I'm afraid that the things that happened back then will happen again." When the palace mistress heard Di Baiming mention the things that happened back then, her expression became a little sorrowful. Bai Ming, mother is afraid that the history might repeat itself. That's why I strongly oppose you dating this little trash. Once something unfortunate happened, not only will she be unable to help you, she will also become a burden to you. She will even become your weakness. Bai Ming's expression became solemn. Mother. Don't mention this again in the future. Not to mention little Jiu's amazing talent, she is not trash at all. Even if her spiritual power is really low, I don't think she is a burden. Since I like her, I have the responsibility to protect her and support her. Yun Chujia's heart warmed when she heard Bai Ming's words. She stood up from the stone bench, straightened her back, and said, Brother Bai Ming, I used to be mischievous and aloof. I didn't cultivate properly. Don't worry. From today onwards, I will definitely work hard. I will not become a burden to you. I want to stand side by side with you. No matter what difficulties and obstacles are ahead, we will face them together. I will hold your hand and grow old together with you. I will definitely not let you down. Bai Ming and Yun Chujia's eyes met, and their eyes were filled with affection. Enough. What you said sounded pretty good. We'll see in 5 years. Bai Ming, you have to come back with me today, or else, I won't be leaving. It's a good opportunity for the little trash to be filial to me. The palace mistress looked at the young couple and suddenly thought of the past between her and Lin Han. The two of them were on good terms. Logically speaking, as a mother, she should not break up the couple, but this little trash was really not suitable for Bai Ming. For his sake, she could not be soft-hearted. Bai Ming frowned and was about to say something when Yun Chujio said, Brother Bai Ming, you should go back with the palace mistress. I have just advanced to the first level of the Spirit Emperor realm, it's a good opportunity for me to cultivate for a period of time to stabilize my abilities. Seeing how serious Yun Chujio was, Bai Ming thought that he had indeed stayed in the Azure Mystic Continent for a very long time, hence, he nodded. Alright, then I will come back to see you in a few days. Take good care of yourself. Keep these few concealment talismans and sudden rupture talismans. However, the sudden rupture talismans are extremely powerful. You must be careful when you use them. Don't hurt yourself. The palace mistress felt a little sour in her heart. This son of hers could usually solve a problem with just one word. He would never say 2 words. She did not expect that he would become a chatterbox in front of this little trash. Moreover, concealment talismans and sudden rupture talismans were not things that could be bought with money, yet he was willing to part with them so easily. However, this little trash had broken through to the first level of the Spirit Emperor realm. Why did she look like she was still at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm? Perhaps she was trying to deceive her by playing a double act with Bai Ming. After the palace mistress and Bai Ming left, Yun Chujio waved at Anfeng. Anfeng ran over and asked, "Ninth Miss, what can I do for you? Have you found out about the background of those men in black? Are they from the Heaven Gate sect?" Yun Chujio thought about it in the cave. Only the Heaven Gate sect would be able to gather 12 people at the level of Spirit Emperor realm to kill her. Miss Jiu, those people are indeed the elders of the Heaven's Gate sect in disguise. Your Excellency originally wanted us to kill them all. Later, he felt that it was better for you to deal with them yourself, so he didn't touch them for the time being. Yun Chujio nodded. That's the right thing to do. If you kill people, you will inevitably be punished by the heavens. I will deal with my own enemies by myself. Let them run around for a few more days. When I am fully prepared, I will not let any of them go. Chapter 682, The Chimeric Plains. In the following month, Yun Chujio spent all her time cultivating in the courtyard, reinforcing what she learned so far. However, Yun Chujio was now faced with a difficult problem. She couldn't cultivate in seclusion all the time. She had to have actual combat experience to further improve. Just because the Heaven's Gate sect did not manage to kill her last time does not mean they would give up so easily. As long as she kept moving about to gain experience, they would definitely send people to kill her. What should she do? She couldn't always let Elder Shao and the others protect her when she left the Spirit Radiance sect grounds to gain experience, right? What would she learn from always relying on others? Yun Chujio gritted her teeth. Cultivation was full of dangers to begin with. She had always been timid. When would she be able to grow? She had to face the difficulties head-on. Thus, she went to find Master Xianyuan and told him about her thoughts. Master Xianyuan, I plan to leave the grounds to train. This time, I plan to go alone and quietly in case I am targeted by the people of the Heaven's Gate sect again. Master Xianyuan immediately shouted, nonsense. If anything happens to you, there would be no way for the rest of us to find out. Unfeng will go with me. The fewer people there are, the smaller the target. Besides, I plan to go to the Chimeric Plains to train. That place is tens of thousands of miles away. The hands of the Heaven's Gate sect might not be able to reach that far. The Chimeric Plains? The demonic beasts there are extremely ferocious and the weather there is terrible. Why did you choose that place? Master Xianyuan asked in confusion. Firstly, that place is not within the sphere of influence of the four great sections. The Heaven's Gate sect will not discover that I went there for training. Secondly, it is precisely because the demonic beasts there are ferocious and the weather there is terrible that it can increase my actual combat ability. Master Xianyuan, don't worry. I cherish my life very much. I will not act recklessly. Yun Chujia's gaze was firm, it was obvious that she had made up her mind. Master Xianyuan nodded. Little Jiu's Dao heart was stronger than before after experiencing these changes. This little girl would soar to the sky sooner or later, should let her be. All right. Since you've made up your mind, I won't stop you. Keep this ring well. As long as you wear it, no one below the 5th level of the spiritual emperor realm will discover your true gender. Yun Chujia's eyes lit up. This ring suited her well. Thank you, Master Xianyuan. The matter of me going out to train must be kept a secret. Tell the others that I'm in closed-door cultivation. After Master Xianyuan agreed, Yun Chujio hopped back to her dormitory. Since she was going out on a long journey, she naturally had to make sufficient preparations. Other than some daily necessities, after Yun Chujio activated the isolation array in the courtyard, she refined several bottles of heaven-grade blood coagulation pills and exploding spirit pills. In the end, she and Enfeng activated their concealment talismans and slipped out of the Spirit Radiance sect without anyone noticing. After the two of them were some distance away from the Spirit Radiance sect, Enfeng summoned his flying spirit tool and the two of them flew towards the Chimeric Plains. Yun Chujio and Enfeng had both disguised themselves. Yun Chujio had disguised herself as a young boy, and Enfeng's appearance had also been changed by Yun Chujio. Unless someone carefully identified them, they would not be able to recognize their true identities. Half a month later, the flying spirit tool arrived at the Chimeric Plains. As the name implied, the Chimeric Plains climate was extremely strange. One moment it was still sunny, and the next moment, it was likely to be filled with snow. Therefore, the nature of the demonic beasts on the Chimeric Plains was extremely savage. They were much more powerful than the demonic beasts of the same level in the demonic beast forest. Chapter 683, all about pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Although the name of Chimeric Plains had the word plains, it was in fact, not the only type of terrain there. There were high mountains, forests, and rivers. It was more like a hidden world isolated from the rest of the globe. After Yun Chujio and Enfeng landed, Enfeng put away the flying spirit tool. Enfeng, from now on, no matter whether you encounter demon beasts or cultivators, unless my life is in danger, don't help me, Yun Chujio said to Enfeng after adjusting her spiritual power level to the 2nd level of spirit cultivator. Enfeng nodded. He took out a hidden spirit ring from his storage ring and put it on. After thinking for a while, he also adjusted his spiritual power level to the second layer of the spirit cultivator realm. Anfeng had long wanted to experience the feeling of pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. He finally had the chance. The outer area of the chimeric plains was still relatively calm. There were only some low-level demonic beasts. Yun Chuzhou couldn't be bothered to pay attention to them and continued to walk inside. The weather of the chimeric plains was indeed strange. The two of them had walked less than 10 miles when suddenly, heavy snowfall started to fall from the sky. This was the first time Yun Chuzhou had seen snow since she transmigrated, and she couldn't help but feel a little excited. Along the way, she jumped up and down happily. The plants of the chimeric plains had also adapted to such unpredictable weather. The plants bloomed, and the fruits that were supposed to bear fruit were not affected by the snow at all. Yun Chuzhou was not afraid of being poisoned to death. When she saw wild fruits, she plucked them and stuffed them into her mouth. She felt that coming out to gain real-world experience was much better than staying in the Spirit Radiance sect. Yun Chuzhou also released Little Black Bird and Little Black Rat, letting them play outside. It was also a good opportunity for them to gain some experience against the enemy. When the flaming three-tailed fox king saw that the two had been released, it implored Yun Chuzhou, "Master, this king also wants to go out for a walk. Little Red, your 3 tails are too eye-catching. What if they attract high-level cultivators?" Every time the 3-tailed fox king heard the name Little Red, it felt its balls shrink. It took a deep breath and said, "Master, I can hide one of my tails. That way, people will think that I'm a 2-tailed fox and won't care." "Oh, you have that ability? It turns out that the 3 beats that I took in are all fakes," Yun Chuzhou said as she released the flaming 3-tailed fox king. As expected, the flaming 3-tailed fox king only had 2 tails left. It was just that the color of its fur was a little brighter than the usual 2-tailed scarlet flame fox. There was no difference in other things. Moreover, its spiritual power level had also become a corresponding level 4. The flaming 3-tailed fox king looked down on Little Black Rat and Little Black Bird. It simply could not understand why its master wanted to take in these 2 idiots. One was an ugly Tier 3 fire-breathing crow, while the other was a Tier 3 stone-eating rat that only knew how to chew on ores. It was simply too weak. It could not even be compared to 1/10,000 of this king's power. Little Black Bird had long disliked this smelly fox. It clearly looked down on him. "Just you wait, I'll let you know how powerful I am is sooner or later." After Yun Chuzhou advanced, Little Black Bird also broke through to become a Tier 8 demon beast. However, he was the same as Yun Chuzhou. Others could not see its true spiritual power level, so he lowered himself to a Tier 3 fire-breathing crow. Little Black Rat looked like a Tier 3 demonic beast, but it was very low-key. Little Black Rat secretly said to Little Black Bird, "Little Black Bird, gee, that stinky fox is nothing special. It barks so much every day. You better teach it a lesson. Don't worry, I will help you. I will support you spiritually." Little Black Bird. Chapter 684, I leave this to you. 3 Yun Chuzhou noticed the commotion amongst the 3 of them. She pretended not to see it and let them show off. "I'll find a chance to teach you a lesson." The 3 of them were not interested in low-level demon beasts. They urged Yun Chuzhou to leave as soon as possible so that they could meet high-level demon beasts to show off their skills. However, the chimeric plains was too big. It was not until noon the next day that Yun Chuzhou and the others met a group of 5th-level fire-breathing ash wolves. There were a total of 15 fire-breathing ash wolves. They surrounded Yun Chuzhou and the others aggressively, their eyes filled with greed. The flaming 3-tailed fox king looked at the fire-breathing ash wolves with disdain. "Master, they are no match for me. I can deal with 5 of them by myself. I am much stronger than those 2. Yun Chuzhou smiled evilly. Didn't you guys want to practice before? I leave this to you three. Unfeng and I will not fight. We will cheer for you from inside the spiritual energy shield. You guys can count on yourselves. After saying that, Yun Chuzhou took out a protective disc. After opening it, she took out a spirit fruit and ate it leisurely while she watched the show. What? Master. That's not like you. I can only deal with 5 of them. The 2 of them together can't even defeat one of those fire-breathing ash wolves. Aren't you sending us to our deaths? The flaming 3-tailed fox king anxiously cried out. Little Black Bird looked at the fox king with disdain. After flying up, it opened its mouth and threw a huge fireball at a fire-breathing ash wolf. Although the fire-breathing ash wolf managed to dodge it, it was frightened by the lightning power contained in the fireball. The flaming 3-tailed fox king's black stone-like eyes went a little dull. How could this ugly fire-breathing crow spit out such a huge fireball? And it contained the power of lightning? How was this possible? Seeing that Little Black Bird was so difficult to deal with, those fire-breathing ash wolves turned their attention to the flaming 3-tailed fox king. Since the fire-breathing crow did not have much meat, they might as well eat the flaming 3-tailed fox king in front of them. Thus, they surrounded the fox king and trapped him. The Little Black Bird flew in the air and shouted proudly, "Hey, smelly fox, do you need my help?" The flaming 3-tailed fox king snorted coldly, "I can handle it myself, there's no need for your pity." Little Black Bird snorted and landed on a nearby tree. "Since that's the case, I'll stay here and watch the show. Let's see how you fight a pack of wolves. If you can't hold on any longer, let me know. I'm very magnanimous, I'll definitely help you." The flaming 3-tailed fox king wished that Little Black Bird would immediately come over to help. Unfortunately, since he had already turned him down, he could only force himself to say, "It's a small matter, watch how I'll deal with them." Little Black Rat had already dug a hole and hid. "This kind of fighting and killing was not suitable for me. I'll just give them moral support." "Miss Chiu, aren't you going to help them?" Anfeng thought to himself. What kind of master raised what kind of spirit beast? However, it seemed that among the 3 of them, the most shrewd fox was the dumbest. Yun Chuzhou said to Anfeng while chewing on the fruit, "Let's wait and see. These 3 silly munchkins of mine look stupid, but in fact, they all have their own ideas. They actually have the mind to bicker in front of a great enemy. It's not a bad idea to teach them a lesson." Chapter 685, Little Black Rat, do you have any other abilities? At this moment, the flaming 3-tailed fox king's heart was on the verge of collapse. Although it was powerful, it could only deal with 5 of them. There was no way it could win against 15. However, since it had run its mouth, it couldn't possibly ask that ugly bird for help, right? The flaming 3-tailed fox king rolled its eyes and suddenly jumped. With a whoosh, it leaped over the body of a fire-breathing ash wolf and instantly escaped the encirclement. "Awoo! Awoo! Awoo!" Flaming 3-tailed fox king roared. A few of the fire-breathing ash wolves began to look confused. The flaming 3-tailed fox king took the chance and threw a fireball at one of them. A fire-breathing ash wolf was hit by the fireball. It screamed and rolled on the ground. The fox king did not have the time to be proud. Several fireballs were thrown at it. The 3-tailed fox king moved left and right. In the beginning, it was very agile. While it was dodging the fire-breathing ash wolves' attacks, it could occasionally retaliate. However, as time passed, it gradually grew tired. If it had not accepted a master, it would have escaped long ago. Although it could not beat the fire-breathing ash wolves, it would have no problem escaping. However, now, it had returned in defeat after being assigned a mission by its master for the first time. It was too embarrassing. Therefore, the flaming 3-tailed fox king could only hold on bitterly. Little Black Bird rolled his eyes. Although he could not stand the three-tailed fox's pretense, he could not just stand by and do nothing. Thus, he flapped his wings and flew over, throwing a huge fireball at the wolf pack. The flaming three-tailed fox king felt very conflicted when he saw Little Black Bird taking the initiative to help. However, he did not have the time to think too much in the face of a great enemy. He roused his spirit and threw himself into the battle. The bird and the fox gradually began to cooperate. After an hour, they had killed 7 of the fire-breathing ash wolves. However, the 2 of them were a little exhausted. Moreover, Little Black Bird could not fly too low. Those fire-breathing ash wolves could leap 30 feet high. If he were not careful, they might swallow Little Black Bird whole. Miss Joe, I'm afraid they won't be able to hold on any longer. Aren't you going to make your move? Anfeng asked Yun Chuzhou, who was calm and composed when he saw that Little Black Bird and the flaming three-tailed fox king were at a disadvantage. What's the hurry? Isn't there another one hiding in the cave? Yun Chuzhou pointed at Little Black Rat, who was poking its head out of the cave. Miss Joe, are you kidding me? What else can that stone-eating rat do besides gnawing on ore? Its combat strength is almost negligible, right? Anfeng asked amusingly. I used to think so too, but I think this little thing must be hiding a lot of things from me. Let's see. I have a heaven-grade blood coagulation pill here. It doesn't matter even if Little Red is injured, Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Anfeng lit a candle in his heart for the flaming three-tailed fox king. Little Red, who asked you to treat your master this way? This is karma. Little Black Bird saw that the flaming three-tailed fox king was about to give up, so he was a little anxious. Therefore, he took the risk of flying lower to increase the accuracy of the fireballs. In a moment of carelessness, he was bitten by a fire-breathing ash wolf and fell to the ground. Just as Yun Chuzhou was about to help, she saw a black shadow jump in front of Little Black Bird. It was Little Black Rat. The fire-breathing ash wolf that bit Little Black Bird was about to swallow him when it saw Little Black Rat suddenly appear in front of it. Its eyes were filled with disdain, but having more food was a good thing, hence, it opened its bloody mouth and bit Little Black Rat. Yun Chuzhou raised her right hand and was about to kill the fire-breathing ash wolf, but Little Black Rat's next move stunned her. Chapter 686. The rat had another ability. Yun Chuzhou saw that after Little Black Rat jumped up, it stretched out its front paw and attacked the fire-breathing ash wolf. Yun Chuzhou could not bear to look. Your little paw hitting the fire-breathing ash wolf would probably feel like a tickle. I thought you had some special ability. It turned out that it only tried to physically attack the wolf. Yun Chuzhou was afraid that it would be at a disadvantage, so she wanted to help, but what happened next surprised her. The fire-breathing ash wolf was sent flying more than 100 feet by Little Black Rat's slap, and it fainted with a choking sound. Yun Chuzhou's eyes were wide open. My goodness, how could such a small rat have so much strength? Yun Chuzhou threw a heaven-grade blood coagulation pill to Little Black Bird, and then said to Little Black Rat, who seemed to glow now, Mickey Mouse, you did well. Keep working hard. I'll reward you with a piece of hazy ore in a while. Little Black Rat saw Little Black Bird fly up again, squeaked a few times, and rushed toward the fire-breathing ash wolf pack. An hour later, after the concerted efforts of the 3 silly munchkins, the fire-breathing ash wolf pack was annihilated. They did not understand what had happened until they died. How did 3 low-level spiritual beasts beat so many of us? It was simply a death that was too embarrassing to accept. The flaming three-tailed fox king listlessly followed behind Little Black Bird and Little Black Rat. It felt ashamed at its arrogance earlier. These 2 were like wolves in sheep's clothing. Both of them were stronger than me. Woo-woo, this king was too ashamed. Yun Chuzhou was suddenly interested in Little Black Rat. Mickey Mouse, you're really good at hiding things. You have such great strength, but you did not tell your master about it. It makes Master sad. Little Black Rat said softly, Master, I only awakened my innate ability a few days ago after I advanced. Moreover, my ancestors told me that girls cannot be too cruel. Otherwise, they will not be able to marry. Yun Chujio, little sister Mickey Mouse, you don't have to worry. Big brother thinks that you were simply beautiful just now. There will be many beasts that will like a girl like you. Little Black Bird blinked his possessed eyes and said. Cough cough. This king feels that a girl like you is the true beauty amongst beasts. If there is no beast to marry you, this king will marry you. The flaming three-tailed fox king casually said to express his gratitude. Little Black Bird immediately exploded. Fuck, this is the sweetheart that I won over myself. Now you're trying to steal her away. I'll fight it out with you. The flaming three-tailed fox king was shocked by Little Black Bird's sudden brutality. What was going on? Weren't they fighting side by side just now? Why did they suddenly turn against each other? What did I do wrong? Yun Chujio was about to cry from the stupidity of the flaming three-tailed fox king. There was no one else who could as stupid as this fox. Speaking of which, how did it become the Fox King in the first place? Could it be that this intelligence was the smartest among the group? Yun Chujio could not be bothered with those three clowns. She put away the fire-breathing ash wolves' corpses on the ground and continued to walk forward. And Feng felt a wave of envy in his heart. TSK, look at 9th Mississippi. It was one thing if she had a heavenly thunder spirit root, but she actually had 3 such awesome spirit pets. Although they were not particularly strong now, but in time, those 3 silly munchkins would become real monsters. Senior brother Helion, that two-tailed scarlet flame fox's fur is too beautiful. Go and catch it for me. I want to use its fur to make a cloak. Junior sister Lianxin, just you wait. Senior brother will help you catch that little bastard right now. Yun Chujio felt thunder rolling in the sky. Were there really such stupid people in this world? He wanted to catch someone else's spirit pet in front of the owner. They had it coming for them. Chapter 687, Asking for a Beating. Yun Chujio turned around and saw 6 people behind her made up of 5 young men escorting a woman. The woman's face was delicate and her figure was graceful, but the arrogant look on her face really made people dislike her. I'm sorry, this two-tailed scarlet flame fox is my spiritual pet. Please don't do anything to it. Yun Chujio saw that there was a pattern depicting a goshawk embroidered on the lower left corner of the 6 people's clothes, so she felt that these people might be from the same group. It was better not to make enemies, so she spoke politely. The woman saw Yun Chujio turn around and saw that she and Feng both wore ordinary clothes. She curled her lips disdainfully and said, Poor girl, since that two-tailed scarlet flame fox is yours, it makes things easier. Name a price, I want to buy it. Sorry, I'm not selling it. Yun Chujio put the 3 silly munchkins into her storage ring and turned around to leave. Stop. It's your lucky day that junior sister Lianxin has taken a fancy to your spirit beast. Hurry up and hand over that two-tailed scarlet flame fox. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. A man with a hooked nose said arrogantly. Yun Chujio sneered, Impolite? How impolite? The young man with the hooked nose looked at Yun Chujio with disdain. In the chimeric planes, only the strong are respected. Even if we kill you, no one will dare to say a thing. Cut the crap and hand over the two-tailed scarlet flame fox, or I'll kill you. The flaming 3-tailed fox king was already furious in the spirit beast pouch. Bastard! You actually want to skin me? Master, let me out. Let me burn these 6 dregs to death. Yun Chujio comforted the flaming 3-tailed fox king for a while, then said to the hook-nosed man indifferently, The strong are respected? Then if I kill you, no one will bother me in the future. The 6 people could not help but laugh out loud. The hook-nosed man said arrogantly, "You are only at the 2nd layer of the spirit cultivator realm, and the 6 of us are all at the 3rd layer of the spirit cultivator realm. How can you beat us? Besides, you dare offend our goshawk sect in the chimeric plane? You have a death wish." Yun Chujio was stunned, and then she laughed until tears almost came out. The goshawk sect. There is actually a sect called the goshawk sect. Ha ha ha, is there a mosquito sect next? The hook-nosed man flew into a rage out of humiliation. Brat! How dare you insult our goshawk sect? You're courting death. After the hook-nosed man finished speaking, he threw a few wind blades at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio's eyes deepened. Since he had attacked so ruthlessly, don't blame her for overreacting. After Yun Chujio dodged a few wind blades, her body instantly appeared behind the hook-nosed man like a phantom. She kicked him, and the hook-nosed man was sent flying hundreds of feet away before he fainted. Yun Chujio did not stop there. She turned around and kicked the woman's stomach. Damn it! I told you not to bother us. You asked for this. The woman did not expect to be kicked by Yun Chujio without her saying a word. In addition, the difference in spiritual power was so large that she was sent flying. The other 4 men only reacted at this time. All kinds of spiritual power attacks came at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio moved around and did not use her lightning at all. She just relied on her agile movement to kick the 4 people to the ground. These little dregs were far inferior to the skills of those flaming 3-tailed foxes. And Feng, who watched at the side, was a little speechless. How did Miss Jiu become so agile? She was twice as fast now compared to when she fell into the hole. Chapter 688, The Goshawk Sect. After Yun Chujio restrained the spiritual power of the 6 people, she kicked them together like a soccer ball. The faces of the 6 people were all scratched by spiritual plants on the ground, and when the woman saw that her proud face was scratched, her eyes were filled with a vicious light. Yun Chujio didn't care about it and said with a smile, "Come on, who can tell me about the goshawk sect? If you say something useful, I will let you go while I will kill the rest of your group. There is only one chance, which one of you will speak up?" The eyes of the 6 people flickered, and the hook-nosed man said with a fierce expression, "Brat, if you dare harm any of us, the goshawk sect will not let you off." Yun Chujio drew a sword from his waist and pointed it at his neck. The hook-nosed man screamed and fell to the ground. This time, do you believe me? Who will tell me what I want to know? Or do you all want to die? Yun Chujio held up the sword and asked with a smile. However, in the eyes of the 5 people, that was the most threatening smile they have seen. One of the men shouted, "I will. I'll tell you everything." The woman said fiercely, "Don't. I'll do it." The eyes of the other 3 men flickered. One of the men said loudly, "Junior Sister Lianxin, we usually let do as you wish. This time, we cannot since it's a matter of life and death. Young hero, I will tell you what you want to know." "Deng Shi, what do you know?" "Young hero, I have more knowledge than him, let me be the one to tell you." "Young hero, I'm the oldest here, and I know more than the rest. Ask me." Seeing the 4 of them like this, the woman cursed angrily, You dare defy me? My father won't forgive you." The eyes of the 4 of them flickered. They couldn't care less about the consequences now. It was more important to save their own skin. Yun Chujio smiled faintly. "How about this? I'll give each of you a chance to tell me something useful. Whoever provides the most detail, I'll let them go." The 5 of them scrambled to tell Yun Chujio everything they knew. They were afraid that they would lose out to the rest, so they just spilled everything, regardless of whether it was useful or not. Yun Chujio summarized what they said, and she had a rough understanding of the goshawk sect. Although the weather on the chimeric plane was harsh, there were many unique herbs and demonic beasts. Therefore, people saw a business opportunity and came to buy herbs and demonic beast materials. As time passed, 100 miles away from the Chimeric Plain, lay Chimeric City. In the city were many shops and merchants frequented by cultivators. The power of the mayor of Chimeric City grew bigger and bigger, and eventually, the Goshawk sect was established. The Goshawk sect was medium-sized and on about the same level as the Zhuo family that Yun Chuzhou had destroyed. There were 6 people above the Spirit Emperor realm, more than 20 spirit cultivators, and the rest were all at the spirit enhancement level. These 6 people were all inner sect disciples, and the woman was the biological daughter of the current sect master, Lu Qian. The 6 of them had also come to the Chimeric Plains for training. The sect members often came to this area for training, so the symbol of the Goshawk sect was widely recognized by others. Therefore, the 6 of them had always been able to do as they pleased. Who would have thought that they would stub their toes today? Yun Chuzhou thought about it. Even the strongest dragon could not defeat a snake that knew its surroundings. Moreover, she did not have anything against them, so she said, "If each of you give me 100,000 spirit stones and I will let you go. Otherwise, I'll kill you and leave your bodies in the Chimeric Plains. Your Goshawk sect can't do anything to me." Chapter 689, Lu Qian's plan. When the 5 of them heard this, they immediately nodded their heads in agreement. The Goshawk sect guarded Chimeric City and were extremely wealthy. They also benefited from it and had a small fortune with them. Yun Chuzhou released their spiritual power shackles. The 5 of them did not have the intention to escape at all. Although they were arrogant, they were not stupid. Just now, this kid did not even use her spiritual power and they were already defeated. She was definitely not a second-level spirit cultivator on the surface. The 5 of them obediently handed the spirit stones to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou pointed at the man lying on the ground and said, "He's not dead yet. Feed him a hemostatic pill, wake him up, and let him pay for his life." The 5 of them were scared out of their wits earlier, so they didn't check on their fellow sect member. Now that they looked, they realized that the chest of the man that lay on the ground still heaved up and down. Obviously, he was not dead yet. They quickly fed him a pill and only then did the man wake up. The hook-nosed man didn't dare to make a peep. He obediently handed over 100,000 spirit stones and the 6 of them ran away. "Miss Jiu, aren't you afraid that they'll go back to the Goshawk sect and plan to take revenge on you?" Anfeng asked. "Even if we kill them, the Goshawk sect will find us sooner or later. After they return, if the Goshawk sect is tactful enough, they will leave us alone. If they insist on seeking revenge, I'm not afraid. It'll be a good opportunity to use them as practice." Although Yun Chuzhou was afraid of the Goshawk sect, she did not care too much about them. Anfeng did not ask any further when he heard that. He, Yun Chuzhou, and the 3 silly munchkins were not afraid of them. Moreover, the Goshawk sect would not possibly send the entire sect to go after them. It was not worth worrying too much over them. After the 6 of them returned to the Goshawk sect, the woman, Lu Lianxin, angrily went to find the Goshawk sect master, Lu Qian. "Father, you must avenge your daughter." Lu Qian looked at his daughter, who was in a sorry state and flew into a rage. "Who dares to hit my daughter? Lianxin, tell me, who beat you up like this?" Lu Lianxin told him everything. "Father, senior brother Helian and the others usually treat me well, but they abandoned me at the critical moment. Also, that kid is very strange. She seems to be at the 2nd layer of the spirit cultivator realm, but he defeated all 6 of us without using any spiritual powers. The person next to him didn't even make a move." Lu Qian pondered for a moment after listening. "Lianxin, I will help you deal with the other 5 sect members. As for those 2 people, I happen to be taking some people to Chimeric Plains. At that time, they'll discuss the real situation with them and then come up with a plan. I don't want us to offend the people we can't afford to offend." Father, you are too careful. No one from the four great sects will come to the Chimeric Plains. Which force can possibly compare to our goshawk sect here? Lu Lianxin said unhappily. Lu Qian laughed out loud. My good daughter, there is always someone better than you. You can't be so conceited. However, don't worry. As long as father's trip is successful, from now on, even the four great sects will be beneath my notice. Lu Liangxin's eyes lit up. Father, is that true? Why do you want to go to the Chimeric Plains? I will go with you. Lu Qian frowned. This trip is of great importance. Don't go around causing trouble. Stay here and help me keep an eye on things. Lu Lianxin saw Lu Qian's serious expression and didn't dare to say anything more. She described Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng's appearance to Lu Qian. She especially mentioned Yun. Chapter 690, Happily 8 more. Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng, who was just missed by Lu Qian, walked into a dense forest. This dense forest was truly a dense forest. Tall trees blotted out the sky and the sun, and many vines grew on them. Even though it was daytime, only a little bit of sunlight penetrated through the gaps between the vines and the leaves. Fortunately, Yun Chuzhou had the illuminating pearl with her, which was hung on her chest to illuminate the place. It was inevitable for people to feel uneasy when they walked in such a dense forest. They were afraid that a demon beast would jump out from somewhere. Yun Chuzhou carefully walked in with a rolling pin in her hand, while Enfeng followed behind her to keep an eye on the surrounding situation. Enfeng, something is wrong. Why haven't we encountered any demon beasts? Miss Jiu, I'm afraid this place is a little strange. You must be careful. Before Enfeng could finish his sentence, a strange sound came from underground. It was as if something was running around beneath them. Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng were startled. They subconsciously jumped onto the trees nearby to hide. However, before Yun Chuzhou could stand still, the vines suddenly turned into poisonous snakes and wrapped around her. Enfeng was in the same situation. The vines here were densely packed, and before he could react, he was already wrapped up like a rice dumpling. Enfeng's heart sank. This was bad. The vines wrapped tighter and tighter, and he could not break free at all. Moreover, his hands were wrapped up, and he could not form seals or use his spiritual power. What should he do? At that moment, Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng finally understood what the underground noise was. It was a trap to make them jump up the trees to avoid it. Then, these vines would capture them. It was probably the roots of these vines underground. These vines were really cunning. Just as Enfeng was worrying, two middle-aged men walked over from not far away. When they saw Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng tied to the tree, the two of them looked at each other and laughed out loud. These two idiots still think that anyone can brave the Chimeric Plains. They entered the spirit-sapping forest without first investigating it. They're simply walking to their deaths. That's right. However, this is a good thing for us. These spirit-sapping vines only absorb people's spirit energy. Without their spirit energy, killing them will be effortless. Their storage rings will be ours. That fool seems to have an illuminating pearl hanging on her chest. Good boy, that's a valuable piece of treasure. You're right. This is my favorite kind of deal. One that doesn't involve any effort. Those vines will secrete an extremely corrosive mucus in a moment. In less than an hour, their spiritual power will be completely absorbed. The two of them happily chatted and laughed. They did not care about the noise underground. Those vines could only be used on those who jumped onto the tree, but they could not do anything to those who were on the ground. Therefore, the two of them crossed their arms and watched Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng make a fool of themselves. Enfeng thought for a long time but could not come up with any good ideas. His hands and feet were tightly bound, and even though he had many abilities, he would not be able to use them. He could only seize the opportunity before his spiritual power was completely absorbed and use his spiritual power to break the vines. Anfeng was frowning as he tried to break the vines bit by bit when he heard a cracking sound. He saw Yun Chuzhou, who was on the tree next to him, bite the vines. The two people below were stunned at first, then they burst into laughter. They were so happy that tears were about to fall. Fuck! Where did this idiot come from? Does he think that these are ordinary vines? These spirit-sapping vines are poisonous. If he does that, hell die faster. Isn't it better to die faster? We can leave this spirit-sapping vine forest before dark after we loot their storage rings. Just as the two of them were talking happily, they heard a series of cracking sounds. When they looked up, they saw that not only was the young man not dead, but he happily ate more of the vines. Chapter 691, Who the hell is Little Madman? The two of them were confused. What's going on? How was he not poisoned? Besides, what were those teeth made of? The spirit-sapping vine is very strong. Yun Chuzhou originally wanted to release Little Black Bird to burn those vines, but the strange grass in her dantian clamored for her to eat those vines. Yun Chuzhou felt that the strange grass behaved well recently, so she listened to it when it told her to eat the vines. This way, Little Black Bird's abilities would not be exposed. Yun Chuzhou chewed for a while, and the strange grass in her dantian signaled for Yun Chuzhou to just suck the poison from the vines. Therefore, Yun Chuzhou drank the poison as if she were drinking water through a straw. The two people below saw the vine that bound Yun Chuzhou wither at a speed visible. This was unbelievable. Seeing that the vine on her body had withered, Yun Chuzhou jumped onto the tree where Anfeng was. She took a bite at the vine and continued to absorb water. The spirit-sapping vine sensed the danger and desperately tried to pull away. Yun Chuzhou would not let it succeed. She held on to it tightly and refused to let it go. She sipped on it until it tasted sweet. Not long after, the spirit-sapping vine also withered. The two people under the tree looked at each other. That kid was a little strange. However, they stood and watched and even mocked the two caught in the vines. They probably would not let it go. They might as well make the first move. The two people attacked Anfeng and Yun Chuzhou at almost the same time. Anfeng and Yun Chuzhou dodged several wind blades. Young master, keep sucking on the spirit-sapping vines. Leave these two to me. Anfeng was filled with anger just now. He thought that he, Anfeng, was a well-known figure, but he did not expect to fall into this small forest of spirit-sapping vines. It was fine if you did not save them, but you even mocked and ridiculed them. What made him even angrier was that they did not retaliate yet you attacked us first. You two really have a death wish. Anfeng's words made Yun Chuzhou extremely happy. This was because the strange grass in her body was screaming happily for Yun Chuzhou to absorb more of the spirit-sapping vine's juice. Hence, Yun Chuzhou ignored the two of them and jumped onto a tree beside them. Before the spirit-sapping vine could wrap itself around her, she grabbed a vine and took a bite, continuing to absorb the poison. The two people under the tree could not help but feel happy when they saw that. These two people were brainless. Both of them were at the third layer of the spirit cultivator realm, and these two people were only at the second layer of the spirit cultivator realm. They actually wanted to deal with them alone. They were really asking for death. Anfeng sneered and threw a few wind blades at the two of them. The two of them were shocked and they saw Anfeng's wind blades. Oh crap! This person actually hit his spiritual power. Yun Chuzhou was happily absorbing the poison when she suddenly remembered that Anfeng would be punished by heaven if he killed someone, so she shouted, "Little madman, just incapacitate them. I'll end their worthless lives myself." Anfeng stumbled. Who the hell was this little madman? The two of them saw that Anfeng was in a daze and took the chance to escape the forest. Anfeng sneered and threw a few wind blades at their backs. The two of them screamed and fell to the ground. Yun Chuzhou jumped over and took their lives with a rolling pin. "Little madman, go search your body. I'll drink some more spirit vine sap to fill my stomach. At the critical moment, I might need it to save my life." Anfeng opened his mouth and wanted Yun Chuzhou to change his name. After thinking for a while, he decided to give up. Miss Zhou's skill in naming was terrible. Little madman it was. He only had to bear with it for a few days. Chapter 692, Little Black Bird's specialty. Anfeng took off their storage rings and scanned them with his spiritual sense. He did not expect to find so many spirit stones in them. It seems that they had taken advantage of many others in similar situations before. Yun Chuzhou sucked the poison from the vines. "Damn plant. You wanted to suck out all my spiritual power. I'll turn the tables and suck you dry instead. Let's see how you harm others after this." That spirit-sapping vine was really unlucky. Although they were demonic plants, their spiritual power level was not that high and they could not move their bodies. They could only watch helplessly as Yun Chuzhou sucked out the poison in their vines. Anfeng, who was watching from the side, clicked his tongue. The heavenly spirit root was indeed different from ordinary people. Whether the spirit-sapping vine's juice was poisonous or not was another matter. However, wasn't Miss Zhou's stomach tolerating it too well? How many vines had she sucked already, yet she still had no intention of stopping. It was not until the sun set that Yun Chuzhou finished sucking all the spirit-sapping vine's poison into her stomach. The spirit-sapping vines withered without the poison, but they did not die. It would just take some time before they could replenish the poison again. Yun Chuzhou originally planned to burn down the forest, but on second thought, since this place had existed for thousands of years, it had a reason for existing. If she burned it down, it might upset the balance here. Forget it, let them live. Little madman, let's go. There's no one here. I'll call you that from now on in case I slip up. You should also call me young master. Yes, young master. Anfeng resigned himself to his fate and followed Yun Chuzhou out of the spirit-sapping vine forest. Little madman. It was better than that flower's name. In comparison, Little Madman was not too bad, right? Outside the spirit-sapping vine forest was a valley. Under the moonlight, it looked somewhat hazy and beautiful. However, after Yun Chuzhou and Anfeng went through the spirit-sapping vine forest, they became even more cautious. These chimeric plains were full of hidden dangers, they had to be ready for the unexpected. The two of them took turns to be on night watch duty. Yun Chuzhou was on duty in the first half of the night, and Anfeng the second half. Yun Chuzhou also put the three silly munchkins on night duty. Extra sets of eyes always helped. Sure enough, Yun Chuzhou had just fallen asleep in a daze for a short while when Anfeng shouted, "Young master, there are demonic beasts coming." Yun Chuzhou opened her eyes and saw a group of dark things crawling over from afar. Little madman, what the hell are those things? Yun Chuzhou thought to herself. Fortunately, she did not have a fear of crawling things, or else she would have vomited. They don't look like demonic beasts, but demonic insects. Although the level of these demonic insects' spiritual power is not too high, there are a lot of them. If things look bad, we should get on our swords and escape. Yun Chuzhou nodded. When she got closer, she realized that it was a large group of poison hook centipedes. These poison hook centipedes were different from ordinary centipedes. Each of their legs were like iron hooks which could inject lethal venom into their victims. Once their skin was pierced by the poison hook centipedes, they would die on the spot. Little Black Bird was immediately happy. "Master. This is my specialty. Leave it to me, I will immediately get rid of these stinking pests. Yun Chujio let Little Black Bird out and yawned. All right. I'll leave it to you then. I'll go back to sleep, I'm so sleepy. Yun Chujio lay down again and closed her eyes. Anfeng was dumbfounded. Miss Jiu, are you that sleepy? Although Little Black Bird was quite powerful, there were hundreds of poison hook centipedes in this group. No matter how powerful Little Black Bird was, he couldn't kill so many of them. Little madman, step aside and watch me. Little Black Bird said to Anfeng. Chapter 693, The diligent and thrifty Yun Chujio. Anfeng was not surprised to know that Little Black Bird could speak to humans. However, could it be that Little Black Bird was also talking in his sleep? Forget it, he would just watch from the side. If Little Black Bird was no match for the centipedes, he would wake Miss Jiu up. Little Black Bird flapped its wings, but it did not fly up. It just stared at the poison hook centipedes with its bean-like eyes. The poison hook centipedes crawled over aggressively. Although they were only rank 3 demonic beasts, there were a large number of them. It could be said they were invincible when they attacked in a swarm. Seeing that their prey did not try to escape, they crawled even faster. However, they found that their feet started to tremble as they approached the bird. Although rank 3 demonic beasts had some intelligence, it was still limited. They did everything based on instinct. When they felt some kind of powerful pressure, and they did not dare take another step forward. Anfeng looked at the situation in front of him with a dumbfounded expression. What was wrong with those poison hook centipedes? Why were they trembling and had stopped moving? Little Black Bird threw a big fireball at the poison hook centipedes. The poison hook centipedes immediately scrambled for their lives. They turned around and tried their best to crawl back the way they came. Anfeng was surprised to find that some of the poison hook centipedes had turned around in a panic. Some even tripped over themselves. They probably wished they could grow a few more legs. In less than 15 minutes, the poison hook centipedes had completely retreated, as if they had never been here before. The Little Black Bird looked at Anfeng proudly. Now have you seen how powerful I am? Anfeng now understood a little. It was probably because the bloodline of the Little Black Bird had a deterrent effect on the poison hook centipedes. However, what kind of species was the Little Black Bird? An immortal rainbow sparrow? It didn't look like it. The colors of its feathers did not match. Then what kind of species was it? Little Black Bird, what kind of spirit beast are you exactly? Anfeng was puzzled and could not help but ask. Little Black Bird looked at him proudly. You'll know in the future. Anyway, I'm noble and handsome. I'm definitely not comparable to an idiot like Little Red. The flaming 3-tailed fox king, who was standing guard at the side, was immediately unhappy. Little Black Bird, aren't you a little too shameless? No matter how bad I am now, I'm still an exotic beast. When I grow 6 tails, I'll be an immortal beast. When I reach 9 tails, I'll be a 9-tailed fox. That's a divine beast. Little Black Bird pursed his lips. You're dreaming. Anyone can brag. If you can, why don't you grow 9 tails for me right now? The flaming 3-tailed fox king was unable to outtalk Little Black Bird. He mumbled, you have to take things one step at a time. Naturally, your tails will grow one by one. What's the rush? Sooner or later, I will grow 9 tails. Little Black Bird saw that the Fox King's arrogance had been suppressed. Only then did he lie down next to Yun Chujio and contentedly go to sleep. In the next few days, Yun Chujio and the 3 silly munchkins began to fight various monsters and level up. Although they had encountered some minor setbacks, they had managed to get through them safely. As time passed, the temperature gradually got lower and lower. Half of the time every day, there would be snowflakes floating in the sky. Little madman, it is said that there is an ice field in the Chimeric Plains. We should be reaching the ice field soon, right? Yun Chuzhou said as she put on a white cloak. Anfeng nodded, but he was puzzled. Strange, why does that cloak look so familiar? Goodness, isn't this the snow cashmere carpet of the palace mistress? Miss Jiu, you are a role model of thrift. Chapter 694, Chimeric Icefield. Yun Chuzhou noticed that Anfeng was staring at her cloak, but she didn't seem to be embarrassed at all. She smiled and asked Anfeng, "Little madman, do you want one too? I still have a lot of materials to make more. If you want one, you can have this one." Anfeng shook his head like a rattledrum. He would only want it if he was crazy. If the palace mistress found out about this, his good days would come to an end. Forget it if you don't want it. I'll make one for my Prince Charming someday. He'll definitely like it. Anfeng thought to himself, it would be the end of the world if he liked it. He had yet to see anyone who looked good with that carpet draped over their bodies. "Young master, if it doesn't work out, let's go around the ice field in front of us and head straight to the river valley to train." Anfeng said worriedly when he saw that the temperature dropped continuously. "I'm here to train, not to play. I want to face any difficulties head-on. Let's go, I haven't seen the ice field before. The demon beast meat on it must taste good." Anfeng, the last sentence revealed what was really on your mind. The further they went, the colder it was. Fortunately, both of them had spiritual powers to protect their bodies, so they could endure it. Finally, they saw a vast expanse of white from afar. They had arrived at the ice field. "Little madman, will there be demon beasts here? What do they eat?" Yun Chuzhou asked with curiosity. Anfeng was also here for the first time, so he also didn't know much. "Young master, this. I know that there are many demon beasts in the icy plain in the far north. They mostly feed on the fish, prawns, and sea beasts in the icy lakes. However, there are no icy lakes here. If there are no sources of food, perhaps there won't be any demon beasts here. Let's go and take a look first. If there are no demonic beasts, well, take a detour." Yun Chuzhou frowned. If there were no demonic beasts, then what was the point of the trial? There is a stone tablet here. Yun Chuzhou noticed a stone tablet that was half the height of a human standing in front of her and ran over curiously. There were many words carved on the stone tablet. The general meaning was that this chimeric icefield was extremely dangerous. The demonic beasts inside were very ferocious and the climate was unpredictable. Most importantly, it was forbidden to fly and use talismans. If they encountered danger, it would be very disadvantageous. "Young master, why don't we take a detour?" Anfeng saw that since the ice field was so dangerous, he wanted to persuade Yun Chuzhou to give up on entering the trial. "How can I grow if I keep avoiding danger? Let's go take a look first." No, never mind. Let's take a detour." Anfeng, after the two of them entered the ice field, they realized that it was not quite the same as what they had imagined. Yun Chuzhou was extremely curious. She forced Little Black Rat to dig into the ground to see what the structure was made up of. Little Black Rat could break through rocks easily, so digging into the ice field was not a problem. After a while, they dug 30 feet deep before climbing up from below. "Master, the top consists of about 15 feet of soil, and the bottom is full of ice." Little Black Rat explained her findings. Yun Chuzhou nodded. 15 feet of soil is enough for plants to grow. Although the temperature here is very low, some plants can withstand the cold. That's why there are demon beasts here. Let's go, I can't wait to see the ferocious demon beasts of the ice field. Sure enough, after walking for a while, they could see some moss and low-level ice field plants. Some low-level glacial snow rabbits and glacial snow deer started to appear. Yun Chujia's eyes lit up. Chapter 695, Fragrant Roast Meat. Little Red, it's all up to you. Yun Chujio saw a glacial snow rabbit appear in front of her and immediately released Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King. The Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King was very pleased with himself. It was forbidden to fly in here. Little Black Bird, that idiot, was useless. It was up to the King of Foxes now. The Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King's fiery red fur was extremely eye-catching on the ice field. The glacial snow rabbit immediately noticed it and was so scared that it wanted to run away. The Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King pounced over with a swoosh. It was just a weak rabbit, and this king caught it with no effort. It did not expect that the glacial snow rabbit would shoot out several ice arrows from its mouth. The Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King hurriedly dodged. The demon beasts here were indeed strange. They could actually shoot out so many ice arrows. Fortunately, the Fox King's reaction was fast enough, otherwise, he would have definitely been injured. The Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King cried out twice, and the glacial snow rabbit's eyes began to lose focus. Although it was much stronger than the Wind-Edge rabbit in the Demon Beast Forest, it was still a lot weaker than the Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King. How could it withstand its seductive voice? The Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King saw that the glacial snow rabbit was beginning to lose its energy, so it jumped forward and bit its throat. After making sure the rabbit was dead, it happily brought it back to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio and Enfome were also shocked. They did not expect that the lowest level glacial snow rabbit was almost the same as the other level 3 demon beasts. The chimeric icefield was indeed dangerous. However, Yun Chujio immediately focused her attention on the glacial snow rabbit. This rabbit was really fat. It was probably because it was too cold here, so these demon beasts had to have enough fat on them to protect against the weather. Little Red, go and catch a few more. We'll roast some bunnies later. Yun Chujio said as she drooled. The Flaming Three-Tailed Fox King had long been entranced by human delicacies. Roast meat was much more delicious than raw meat. Therefore, to be able to eat the roast meat, the Fox King worked hard to hunt for more, and within an hour, they had caught 3 more glacial snow rabbits. Enfome was asked by Yun Chujio to clean up the 4 glacial snow rabbits, and then she started to roast the rabbit meat by the bonfire. The rabbit meat was indeed very fatty. She roasted them until the fat sizzled, and the fragrance wafted through the air. The 3 silly munchkins drooled. In the past, Little Black Rat only ate ores. However, after following Yun Chujio for a long time, he would occasionally start to eat other kinds of food. The rabbit had just been roasted. Just as Yun Chujio was about to feast on it, Enfome said, "Young master, there are people coming. It seems like there are quite a number of them." Yun Chujio's eyes flashed, "Let's eat first while we wait and see." Enfome nodded. The 2 of them and the 3 silly munchkins began to feast on the roasted meat happily. Yun Chujio was eating happily. She decided there and then in her heart that she had to capture more of the demonic beasts here so that she could enjoy eating their meat more often in the future. It was really delicious. "Kid! Your roasted meat smells very good. Give us 2 of them as a sample." A very arrogant voice said. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. Were the people of the Chimeric Plains all so shameless? A few days ago, there were people who wanted to capture her spirit beast, and now there were people who wanted to eat for free. She had run into this situation too many times. Yun Chujio turned around and saw about 20 people standing in front of her. She couldn't see through their cultivation level of 8 of them, so they should all be above the first level of the Spirit Emperor realm. The remaining 10 or so people were all above the 7th level of the Spirit Cultivator realm. Yun Chujio glanced at the goshawk symbol embroidered on the clothes of a few of them and cursed in her heart. No wonder they were so shameless. So they were from that sect of flies. Chapter 696, My surname is Sure and my name is Ling. The person who spoke was a middle-aged man. He was at the 8th layer of the spirit cultivator realm and had a strong build. His eyes were fixed on the roasted rabbits that were sizzling on the bonfire. I'm sorry, these are only enough for us to eat. If you want some, you can go and catch them yourselves. There are still a lot of glacial snow rabbits around here, Yun Chujio said lightly. The middle-aged man immediately became angry. Damn it! You dare disregard me, Zhang Biao? I'll teach you a lesson. The middle-aged man finished threatening them, and just as he was about to make a move, the man in the lead snorted coldly. Zhang Biao, don't be rude. I'm sorry for the behavior of this brother. He's a rough man. It's inevitable that he won't listen to you. Yun Chujio looked at the person who spoke. His appearance was somewhat similar to that of Lu Lianxin. Could he be the so-called sect leader of the Goshawk sect, Lu Qian? Yun Chujio kept silent. She nodded slightly at him and continued to eat the roasted meat. Anfeng and the 3 silly munchkins didn't even bother to look at them, so they kept biting into the meat. The man in the lead saw the situation and smiled. Little brother, I'm the sect leader of the Goshawk sect, Lu Qian. May I know your names and which sect you're from? Yun Chujio also smiled and said, so it's sect leader Lu. We don't belong to any sect. He is my guard, little madman. My name is Shi Mingling. Pfft. Anfeng was drinking some water when he heard Yun Chujio's words. He immediately spat out a mouthful. Miss Jiu. Of all the fake names, you chose Shirling. Wouldn't it just mean Spirit Stone if the name was reversed? You're still thinking about money even in this situation. Ahem. This guard of mine felt that his name was a little special, so he lost his composure a little. I'm sorry for that outburst. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Those people thought, no matter who was given such a name by their master, they wouldn't be happy, right? So it's young Master Shi. Nice to meet you. I wonder if you two are here to gain experience in the chimeric ice field. Lu Qian's heart was filled with killing intent when he heard that the two of them didn't belong to any sect. However, he was a cautious person, so he decided to test them again. Of course. You don't seem to be here for the same reason. Could it be that you are here to seek out treasure? When she saw that the roasted rabbit meat was about to be eaten up by the rest of her group, she started feeling impatient with this Lu Qian. When Lu Qian heard this, he was shocked. How did he know that there were treasures in the chimeric ice field? Could it be that the two of them were sent by some major faction to scout the area? Lu Qian recalled what Lu Lianxin had said. These two people must be wolves in sheep's clothing. I'd better wait and see before taking action. If that's the case, I won't further bother the two of you. Our meeting must have been fated. We also have to train on this ice field. If there's anything you need help with, feel free to ask for anything. Lu Qian cupped his fists politely towards Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio also cupped her fists perfunctorily, then impatiently snatched a rabbit leg and began to eat it. A trace of displeasure flashed in Lu Qian's eyes, but he was quite a schemer and continued to lead his people forward. Zhang Biao had an unconvinced look on his face. Sect leader, those two brats are only at the 2nd layer of the spirit cultivator realm. I can crush them to death with a flick of my finger. Why were you so polite to them? Lu Qian frowned. Those two beat up Lianxin and the others quite badly a few days ago. They're not who they seem to be. We're mainly here to look for treasure. It's better to avoid unnecessary trouble. Sect Master Lu is right. We took the risk of coming to the chimeric ice field for treasures. There's no need to waste our energy on some trivial matters, said an old man. A few people echoed, that's right. This chimeric ice field is very dangerous. Those two kids might be killed by demonic beasts along the way. There's no need to compete with them. Zhang Biao was embarrassed and didn't say anything. However, he was very resentful in his heart. These people who were hired were indeed not on the same side as our goshawk sect. They only cared about finding treasure. Humph, when the treasure was in their hands, none of the hirelings will survive. Chapter 697, 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma Lu Qian and his group had a total of 20 people, 6 of whom were itinerant cultivators. Lu Qian had promised to hire them with a large sum of money, so it was inevitable that they would be at loggerheads with the goshawk sect. At this time, they were also a little hungry, especially after smelling the aroma of the roasted glacial snow rabbit meat. They became even hungrier and took out some dry rations to eat. The more Zhang Biao ate, the more he felt that the dry rations were difficult to swallow. In his heart, he hated Yun Chuzhou. Damn it, I only wanted 2 roasted rabbits from you, yet you were so stingy. Sooner or later, I'll kill you. At the time, Yun Chuzhou was very satisfied with the food. She burped and said, "This glacial snow rabbit meat is really too delicious. Little Red, your mission in the future is to catch more so that we can eat them on the way back." The flaming 3-tailed fox king nodded repeatedly. This was the first time he had eaten such delicious food. He had to catch more of it. The corner of Enfeng's eyes twitched. "Miss Jiu, are you here to train or to find ingredients?" "Young master, which direction should we go next?" "The goshawk sect's people are heading east. Let's head west to avoid trouble." "What do you think they're here for? Why don't they look like they're here for training? Also, some of them don't seem to be from the goshawk sect. Who knows? They're probably treasure hunting here or something. Anyway, it's none of our business." Enfeng was stunned. Something was not right. According to Miss Jiu's personality, she should have rushed up when she heard that there were treasures. Why was she acting so strangely this time? Yun Chuzhou knew what Enfeng was thinking when she saw his expression. She could not help but laugh. "Are you wondering why I'm not enticed to go to look for treasure?" "Humph. The chimeric icefield is so dangerous. The place where the treasures are hidden must be filled with all sorts of dangers. Moreover, it might not even be valuable. If it's that valuable treasure, it wouldn't be only those bobcats and wild beasts that will be looking for it. I can't be too greedy and end up potentially losing more. Well, take a detour somewhere after gaining more experience." Enfeng pondered over Yun Chuzhi's words. It seemed that the main point of Miss Jiu's words was that the item might not be valuable, which was why it was not worth the risk. If it was valuable, things would probably be different. After getting some rest, Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng walked in the opposite direction of the goshawk sect members. Yun Chuzhou and the flaming 3-tailed fox king began to hunt crazily on the principle of not wasting a potential food source. Enfeng comforted himself. This was not so bad. As they were afraid of damaging the meat, Miss Jiu and the fox tried their best to reduce the use of spirit energy attacks so that they could train their body movements. As Yun Chuzhi's reserve food was got more abundant, she eventually also got a little disinterested in the hunt. "Little lunatic, do you think there aren't any powerful demon beasts in the chimeric icefield? We've been here for 5 or 6 days, but we haven't seen any high-level demon beasts. Maybe it's because we haven't reached the territory of high-level demon beasts. Since there's a stone tablet with a warning, there must be high-level demon beasts somewhere. Moreover, there are many low-level demon beasts here, so there must be high-level demon beasts that prey on them." Enfeng hadn't finished his words when he heard Yun Chuzhou shouting excitedly, "Little lunatic! Look at what that is!" Enfeng followed Yun Chuzhi's finger and looked over. He shouted in surprise, "Oh my God! It's actually a 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. And it's such a big cluster." Although the two of them were very excited, they knew that there would definitely be a guardian beast nearby protecting such precious treasure. They just did not know what kind of high-level demon beast would appear beside such a precious 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. Chapter 698, I am a peace-loving little angel. Yunchujio rolled her eyes and took out a rock from her storage ring. She threw it to the side of the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. This rock was like a bucket of cold water that was thrown into a hot pot of oil. The earth-shaking roar of a beast rang out. Yunchujio was shocked. Fuck! What kind of beast's roar is that terrifying? A huge demonic beast stood up from behind the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. Only then did Yunchujio realize that there was no ice or snow behind the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. Instead, there were two huge Tier 8 earth-shattering ice bears. Their fur was as white as snow, so it was hard to notice them. This earth-shattering ice bear was about half the size of the mighty elephant. Its snow-white fur sparkled under the sunlight as one of them pounced toward Yunchujio. Yunchujio quickly dodged to the side. She could not help but wonder if the bears thought that they were too weak, so only one attacked them. Why was the other one lying there and not moving? The earth-shattering ice bear suddenly opened its mouth, and several huge ice arrows shot toward Yunchujio. TSK. You have some skills, little bear. Not only are you strong, but you can even spit ice arrows. I'll play with you for a while. Yunchujio said as she fought with the earth-shattering ice bear. Anfeng was speechless. This earth-shattering ice bear was dozens of times bigger than you, and you're calling it a little bear? Yunchujio saw that the earth-shattering ice bear was furry and cute, so she did not use her spiritual power to attack, but kept dodging and attacking with her fists and feet. It was a good time to practice her movement techniques. The earth-shattering ice bear was very annoyed. It kept attacking Yunchujio with strange cries. However, its body was huge, so it was inevitable that it was not so agile. Before its claws could hit Yunchujio, Yunchujio had already turned behind it and kicked its butt. Although it was huge and a kick would not hurt it, it still hurt. Yunchujio felt that this sparring partner was really great. Not only was its body strong, but it could also spit ice arrows. Most importantly, she was not afraid of hurting it when she attacked. It was simply a great sparring partner. An hour later, Yunchujio was still alive and kicking. However, the earth-shattering ice bear was so tired that it was panting. Its heart was broken. Fuck. Where did this abnormality come from? He didn't even use his spiritual energy to attack me. Could it be that he wanted to tire it to death? Would it become the first earth-shattering ice bear to die from exhaustion in the chimeric ice field? Little bear, come on. Why aren't you biting me anymore? Yunchujio was having fun when she saw the earth-shattering ice bear unmoving. She hooked her finger at it. The earth-shattering ice bear roared angrily and pounced again. Another hour passed, and the earth-shattering ice bear was so tired that its tongue was stuck out. It panted heavily and simply threw itself on the ground. Ah, do what you want. Fuck, I'm so tired. The other earth-shattering ice bear saw that its companion was exhausted and ran over while howling and limping. Yunchujio then realized that one of the earth-shattering ice bear's legs was seriously injured and was bleeding non-stop. The 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma had the effect of stopping bleeding, so why did it not eat it? It was really strange. Stop. I don't mean any harm. I'm a peace-loving little angel. Let's have a good talk. The corner of Anfeng's eyes twitched. Miss Jiu, it would be more convincing if you moved the rolling pin away from the other bear's neck when saying that. Chapter 699, was indeed two stupid bears as expected. The injured earth-shattering ice bear stopped where it was and stared at Yunchujio fearfully. Little bear, is there something wrong with your head? Your leg is injured, why don't you eat the snow Ganoderma? Then, won't your injury be healed after just a small bite? Yun Chujio asked curiously. The injured earth-shattering ice bear showed a disdainful expression, obviously thinking that Yun Chujio's question was stupid. Yun Chujio was furious. Damn it, you stupid bear. How dare you look down on me? Yun Chujio raised the rolling pin and hit the back of the bear on the ground. The bear cried out in pain, but it was too tired and did not even have the strength to stand up and run. The injured ice bear immediately collapsed and cried out a few times. However, Yun Chujio did not understand the language of beasts, so she naturally did not know what it meant. What nonsense are you talking about? I don't understand. Repeat it. Yun Chujio pouted and said. The injured earth-shattering ice bear was smart. Seeing that Yun Chujio did not understand, it rolled its eyes and decided to demonstrate with its actions. It limped in front of the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma and stretched out its huge claws toward the snow Ganoderma. Then, something strange happened. Its claws were blocked by an invisible barrier. It could not touch the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma at all. Even though the earth-shattering ice bear slammed the barrier, it could not break it. Yun Chujio's interest was piqued. Interesting. Could it be that the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma had a protective barrier? Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. She threw a supreme-grade blood coagulation pill to the injured earth-shattering ice bear. I'm a soft-hearted person. This is a pill to stop bleeding. It's up to you whether you want to eat it or not. Let me see what's going on with this 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. All of you be good. If I can open this shield, it'll give you a piece of snow Ganoderma. The injured earth-shattering ice bear saw that Yun Chujio did not kill its companion. Instead, it jumped to look at the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. After hesitating for a while, it gritted its teeth and ate the supreme-grade blood coagulation pill. The climate of the chimeric ice field was cold. If it did not stop bleeding, its legs would be crippled. If its legs were crippled, it would be difficult to get food in the future. After a while, it realized that its legs were really not bleeding anymore. It pounced on the bear that was still panting on the ground and cried out excitedly. The other bear also took on its happy mood and cried out weakly. After a while, the bear on the ground regained its strength. The two bears came to Yun Chujio's side and sat down obediently. They drooled as they waited for Yun Chujio to take out the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma and give it to them. Anfeng looked at the scene in front of him with a dumbfounded expression. He pinched his own arm and grimaced in pain. Did they not say that demon beasts and humans were like fire and water? Why was Miss Chiu always able to make peace with these demon beasts? The three-tailed fox king who shamelessly wanted to recognize her as its master, the mighty elephant who helped her before, and these two were bought over by a blood coagulation pill? Aren't you guys a little too bold? You dare to eat the pill that humans gave you? Aren't you afraid that it's poison? Besides, are you guys that superstitious and confident in Miss Chiu? You didn't manage to break the barrier. But you think she can? As expected, they're just two stupid bears. Anfeng was cursing in his heart when Yun Chujio waved at him. Little madman, come here. This thing is interesting. Chapter 700, Big Bear and Bear 2. Anfeng ran over curiously and reached out to touch it. As expected, it was blocked by an invisible barrier. Little madman, do you think there's a formation here, or has this 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma become a spirit? Yun Chujio asked curiously. If this 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma has intelligence, it should be able to hide or escape. They wouldn't have the ability to form a spiritual energy barrier. Most likely, after this cluster of snow Ganoderma was discovered by someone in the past, they probably felt that it wasn't old enough, so they set up a formation to protect it so that it wouldn't be dug up by others, Anfeng guessed. You have a point. Since it's an item with an owner, let's not touch it. It's not worth causing unnecessary trouble. Besides, although this 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma is not bad, it's not that delicious. Stewed chicken can't be more delicious than stewed mushrooms. Yun Chujio touched her chin and said. Anfeng was speechless. Miss Jiu, if you did not add that last sentence, your words would have been very reasonable. However, since you added that sentence, it suddenly became so awkward. Big Bear, Bear 2, I'm sorry. I can't get the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma, so I'll give you 2 pills as compensation. See you next time. Yun Chujio threw 2 super-grade explosive spirit pills to the 2 bears and beckoned Anfeng to continue walking forward. Yun Chujio and Anfeng did not walk far when they heard a roar from behind. The 2 earth-shattering ice bears followed them eagerly. Why are you following us? Go play wherever you want to play. Yun Chujio waved her claws at them. The 2 earth-shattering ice bears cried out a few times. Although Yun Chujio could not understand them, she could guess that the 2 earth-shattering ice bears wanted medicinal pills. Do you want more medicinal pills? The 2 earth-shattering ice bears nodded vigorously. They were lacking an explosive spirit pill, but were in great need of blood coagulation pills. This chimeric icefield was different from other places. There were very few medicinal herbs that could stop bleeding. Only snow Ganoderma and crystal snow lotus could stop bleeding. However, there were very few of them, and most of them had already been taken by humans. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. All right then. I'll hire you as guides. When we leave this icefield, I'll reward you with 2 bottles of blood coagulation pills. How about that? The 2 earth-shattering ice bears agreed happily. Yun Chujio was the kind of person who would take advantage of others, she shamelessly said, in that case, we can be considered partners. I was too tired from jumping just now. Big Bear, can I rest on your back for a while? Big Bear, the earth-shattering ice bear who was exhausted by Yun Chujio just moments ago, nodded. Yun Chujio jumped up and sat on Big Bear's back. Anfeng looked at Yun Chujio, who was leisurely eating spirit fruits on the bear's back, and felt that everything in front of him was like a dream. Well, he had never dreamed of such a scene. Was it not strange? Little madman, don't just stand there. Just sit on Bear 2's back. Its legs are already fine. Yun Chujio shouted at Anfeng when she saw him standing there like a wooden stake. Anfeng finally regained his senses and jumped onto the back of the other ice bear. Little madman, these bears' back isn't bad, right? It's soft and warm. It's like a moving furnace. Tell me, why do I have such an affinity with demon beasts? Sigh, I can't help it. Who asked me to be so good-looking? All living things have an eye for beauty. The 2 earth-shattering ice bears staggered. Damn! There's such a shameless human. You're good-looking. Pfft. If it wasn't for the hemostatic pill, we wouldn't have bothered with a skinny little weakling like you. Chapter 701, I'll help you get revenge. Anfeng was dumbfounded when he heard Yun Chujio's shameless boasting. However, he felt that only Miss Jio's quick-witted personality would win the trust of the demonic beasts. If it was an ordinary person, they would have killed the 2 earth-shattering ice bears long ago. Why should they give them medicinal pills to treat their injuries? Although demonic beasts were not as complicated as humans, they had the most direct sense of danger. Perhaps they could sense that Miss Jio did not have any ill intentions toward them, which was why they accepted Miss Jio so easily. What Yun Chujio and Anfeng did not know was that not long after they left, a few itinerant cultivators came. They also discovered the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. The few of them were extremely excited and kept attacking with their spiritual energy. After several hours, the spiritual energy barrier was finally broken. Just as they were ecstatic and wanted to split up the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma, a wave of poisonous smoke was emitted. The few of them did not expect that there would be an ambush and died on the spot. A layer of spiritual barrier rose around the 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma again, as if nothing had happened. Big Bear, do you have any enemies? Bring me to them and see how I can help you get revenge. Yun Chujio lay on Big Bear's back for a while and felt that she could not be content with enjoying herself. She still needed to find high-level demonic beasts to train with. Big Bear immediately ran happily and brought Yun Chujio to its enemy. That's great. My wife's leg was bitten by those giant ice wolves. I can bring them to avenge us. Bear 2's eyes were also burning with anger. It followed Big Bear and ran toward the depths of the icy plains. Yun Chujio got wind of the energy and her mood also became excited. She started howling at the top of her lungs, running with the wind in the direction of freedom. Chasing after the power of lightning and thunder. To carry the vast ocean in my chest, even the smallest sail can sail far away. 1. And Feng had never heard such a strange melody before, but he still felt his blood boil, and he could not wait to have a big fight. The two earth-shattering ice bears ran even faster. Their mood the past 2 days was filled with ups and downs. The cave they had dug with great difficulty was occupied by the giant ice wolves, and Bear 2 got injured. After the two bears fled in a sorry state, they finally found a clump of 10,000-year-old snow Ganoderma. They did not expect that they would not be able to get their hands on it even after exhausting themselves for half a day. They had already lost all hope, but they did not expect the situation to turn out this way. The heavens were really fair. The two earth-shattering ice bears carried Yun Chujio and Enfeng and ran for more than 6 hours before they finally stopped. Yun Chujio asked the two earth-shattering ice bears, "Are you not far from your enemy?" The two earth-shattering ice bears nodded and pointed at a short cliff in the distance with their huge paws, indicating that it was the enemy's base camp. Yun Chujio looked at the sky. The sun was about to set, so she said, "Let's find a place to rest first. We'll get revenge tomorrow, during the day." The two earth-shattering ice bears naturally had no objections. They carried the two of them to a small slope that was sheltered from the wind. The next morning, Yun Chujio stretched her body in a refreshed manner. "Ah, last night was the most comfortable sleep I've had." The corner of Enfeng's eyes twitched. He had asked the two earth-shattering ice bears to block the wind and snow outside and lit a bonfire. Of course, it was very comfortable. After breakfast, the two earth-shattering ice bears carried Yun Chujio and Enfeng and ran toward the low cliff. Chapter 702, Ice Wolves. Just as Yun Chujio and the others approached the short cliff, a group of ice wolves pounced toward them ferociously. The ice wolves were Tier 7 demonic beasts, but they lived in groups. There were 12 of them in this group. No wonder the two bears were at a disadvantage. The Wolf King was much larger than the other ice wolves. It stared fiercely at Yun Chujio and the others, revealing a trace of disdain. These two stupid bears actually found 2 human helpers. Could it be that they actually recognized a human as their master for revenge? Haha, that's extremely stupid. You gave up the freedom of being a demonic beast for revenge. Moreover, you've chosen a powerful person as your master, but you actually chose these 2 trash at the 2nd level of the spirit cultivator realm. You really are 2 stupid bears. Yun Chujio saw the expression of the Wolf King and curled her lips. She waved her claws and said, "All of you watch the battle from behind. I want to fight a pack of wolves alone." The two earth-shattering ice bears thought that the little human had gone mad. "Although you're quite agile, there are 12 wolves. Can you do it?" Enfeng was not very worried, but he was still a little uncertain. The demon beasts on the chimeric icefield were much stronger than those in other places. Although ice wolves were 7th-grade demon beasts, they were equivalent to Tier 8 demon beasts in the demon beast forest. It was still a little difficult for Miss Chio to deal with 12 by herself. However, If she was not a match for them, it would not be too late for him and the two earth-shattering ice bears to attack. The Wolf King saw that Yun Chujio wanted to fight with them alone, and the expression on its face became even more disdainful. No wonder it took those two stupid bears as its spiritual pets. It turned out that it was also brainless. The Wolf King roared twice, and the pack of wolves pounced toward Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio repeatedly waved her hand while dodging the attacks of the pack of wolves, as several bolts of purple lightning charged toward the pack of wolves. The pack of wolves immediately became chaotic. They had never seen a cultivator who could release purple lightning, and they were instinctively somewhat afraid of the power of lightning. The two earth-shattering ice bears were also dumbfounded. Heavens, this little human actually uses heavenly lightning. It's really too terrifying. They felt extremely fortunate in their hearts. Fortunately, we did not go against this little human. Otherwise, we would definitely die. These giant ice wolves are dead for sure. They actually dared to rob our cave. Let's see how you guys are going to show off this time. The Wolf King was stunned at first, then it joined the battle group. This human is so strange. It's best to end the battle as soon as possible. Good timing. I can use you guys as practice. Little Joe Thunder and Lightning. Yun Chujio dodged nimbly, and lightning struck the giant ice wolf continuously. And Foam nodded silently. It seemed that Miss Joe's skills were still effective. At the very least, she was very agile in dodging the ice arrows. The Wolf King saw that it could not attack for a long time, and it gradually became a little impatient. It kept roaring, urging the pack of wolves to get close and bite Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. If I want to catch a thief, I'll first catch the leader. I'll kill this Wolf King first. Yun Chujio shot a bolt of lightning at the Wolf King. It quickly jumped to the side and dodged Yun Chujio's lightning. It shot a few ice arrows at Yun Chujio. After Yun Chujio dodged the ice arrows, she shot a few more bolts of lightning at the Wolf King. It dodged extremely pathetically. It howled and urged the other giant ice wolves to attack Yun Chujio. In order to avoid the attacks of the other giant ice wolves, Yun Chujio had no choice but to temporarily stop her attacks on the Wolf King. Yun Chujio thought to herself, I can't go on like this. My stamina is limited. If I drag this out for too long, these giant ice wolves will gain the upper hand. I have to think of something. Chapter 703, The monster in the lake. Yun Chujio had already talked big just now, so she was naturally embarrassed to let Feng and others help her. However, she had a lot of hidden weapons on her. She found the opportunity and suddenly took out 2 large sacks and threw them at the wolf pack. The wolf pack did not know what it was, so they quickly jumped to the side. Boom! The chili powder inside dispersed in all directions. These giant ice wolves had never seen chili powder before, so the pungent smell immediately made them cry. Yun Chujio took this opportunity to throw a few lightning bolts at the Wolf King. The Wolf King screamed and fell to the ground. Without the command of the king, these giant ice wolves were like loose sand. Soon, they were all killed by Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio followed the principle of not wasting anything. She put the chili powder and the corpses of these giant ice wolves into her storage bag. Just as she was about to boast a little, she saw 2 earth-shattering ice bears with blank faces. They were all dumbfounded. What was that human throwing out just now? It was too magical. It was so powerful. It must be a newly developed human poison. It was too terrifying. If Yun Chujio knew what they were thinking, she would probably burst out laughing. However, what this fellow was thinking was that chimeric ice plane was not as mysterious as it was described. Although the demonic beasts were a little more ferocious than the other places, it was just that. Why did the stone tablet outside make it sound so serious? Big Bear, Bear 2, carry us forward. The two earth-shattering ice bears had mixed feelings. There was gratitude, fear, and a hint of excitement. This little human was so cruel. If he killed all their enemies, would they not be the overlords of this area in the future? Ha ha ha, their good luck had come. The deeper they went, the colder the temperature was. Fortunately, Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng were on the back of the earth-shattering ice bear, so they could endure it. However, the plants on the ground were becoming sparse, and low-level herbivorous demonic beasts were few and far in between. Yun Chuzhou suddenly exclaimed, "Heavens! Little madman, look ahead. Is that a big lake? How can there be a big lake in this icy plain? And it's a big lake that doesn't freeze?" Enfeng also saw the sparkling lake in front of him, and he was very surprised. The temperature there was so low. How was it that the lake did not freeze over? The two earth-shattering ice bears did not think it was unusual. They were extremely familiar with this place and naturally knew that there was an ice lake there. The two earth-shattering ice bears walked to an area about 30 feet away from the ice lake and stopped walking. They cried out a few times and their huge claws indicated to Yun Chuzhou that they should go around the ice lake and continue moving forward. Yun Chuzhou was stunned. It was understandable to do so. However, why did the two earth-shattering ice bears seem to be afraid of the lake? Could it be that there were powerful demonic beasts in the ice lake? Big Bear, are there powerful demon beasts in the ice lake? The earth-shattering ice bear nodded and showed a terrified expression. Yun Chuzhou was not afraid of big things. She took out a big rock from her storage ring and threw it in the lake. Enfeng was really speechless. Miss Zhou's storage ring is truly all-encompassing. It even had a rock. I'm impressed. After the stone fell into the lake, there was no reaction. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and threw the body of a giant ice wolf into the lake. Then, she saw a huge monster appear in the middle of the lake. Chapter 704, Scarlet Poison Frog. Yun Chuzhou's eyes widened in surprise. This demonic beast grew a bit too much, didn't it? The gigantic demonic beast was covered in huge lumps. It was a gigantic toad. Little madman, what kind of demonic beast is this? Its appearance is so ugly. This is a Tier 12 Scarlet Poison Frog, equivalent to the 6th level of the Spirit Emperor realm. It's really strange. Scarlet Poison Frogs normally live in hot springs. Why would it appear in the chimeric icefield? What's so strange about that? The hot springs are probably right under the ice lake. Otherwise, why wouldn't the lake freeze over? 12th level. This is quite a challenge. However, there's no chance of winning unless it's lured to the shore. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and said. The two earth-shattering ice bears were about to cry. Oh my God! Why did you provoke that toad for no reason? Aren't you looking for trouble? They usually hid far away, afraid of being targeted by that ugly monster. The water arrows it shot out were extremely poisonous. Enfeng also frowned. Why do you have to put yourself in danger? Let's go around and find other demon beasts to practice with. Yun Chuzhou waved her claws. Only an opponent with a huge gap between us can stimulate my potential. I'm not afraid even if I'm hit by its poisonous arrows. Besides, if I really can't do it, I still have you guys. I don't believe that we can't defeat one of them with so many of us. This hot spring looks pretty good. There might be some heavenly and earthly treasures inside. Otherwise, why would this ugly monster occupy this place? Enfeng touched his nose. Alright, the last sentence was telling. Young master, the risk is still too great. It's okay. If it really doesn't work, well run. This toad definitely can't stand such cold weather. The key now is how to lure it ashore. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes and thought of a way. Yun Chujio threw the body of a giant ice wolf not far from the shore, hoping to lure the scarlet poison frog out of the lake. As expected, the scarlet poison frog swam to the shore. However, it stuck out its long tongue and dragged the body of the giant ice wolf into the lake. Yun Chujio had no choice but to place the body of the giant ice wolf further away. The giant eyeball of the scarlet poison frog turned around and actually shrank back into the water again. It did not go ashore to hunt. Yun Chujio thought to herself. This high-level demon beast is indeed much smarter than the low-level demon beasts. If it did not fall for the trap, I wouldn't be able to kill it at all. How can I trick it to come ashore? Just as Yun Chujio was frowning, the strange grass in her dantian hooked its leaves. The two earth-shattering ice bears suddenly smelled a strange fragrance. They looked at Yun Chujio and drooled. Yun Chujio was stunned. At this moment, she heard the sound of water splashing. The huge scarlet poison frog suddenly jumped onto the shore and pounced toward Yun Chujio. The two ice bears were immediately frightened and ran away with their heads in their hands. Yun Chujio and Enfone dodged to the side and dodged the frog's tongue. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes and turned around to run. She had to take this opportunity to lure the scarlet poison frog as far away as possible. After a long time, it would not be able to withstand the cold, its fighting strength would decrease. The smell of the strange grass was extremely attractive to the scarlet poison frog. At that moment, there was only one thought in its mind, and that was to eat the human in front of it. The scarlet poison frog shot several poisonous arrows at Yun Chujio, who was running in front of it. Yun Chujio seemed to have eyes on her back and dodged the poisonous arrows in a flash. Yun Chujio kept dodging until she felt that the distance was close enough, and then she stopped running. Chapter 705, Strange Grass. Favorite poison. Yun Chujio was afraid that she would attract other demonic beasts, so she quickly stopped strange grass from releasing its scent. The scarlet poison frog suddenly became aware. It realized that it was far away from the ice lake. It did not have the time to attack Yun Chujio, so it turned around and ran back. Little brat. Since I got you out, you still want to run? Dream on. You unethically ugly monster. Is that ice lake yours? You actually took over the public waters. You're absolutely shameless. Yun Chujio said as she fired several bolts of lightning at the frog. It was startled by the purple lightning, but its eyes immediately revealed a vicious glint. A second-level spirit cultivator actually tried to kill me. That's just wishful thinking. Even if I'm not used to the climate of the ice plains, I can still kill you without a problem. The scarlet poison frog shot out its poisonous arrow again. Its poisonous arrow did not come from its mouth, but from the bumps on its body, which were filled with poison. On one hand, the scarlet poison frog used its poisonous arrow to attack Yun Chujio, and on the other hand, it stretched out its huge tongue, wanting to swallow Yun Chujio directly into its stomach. Little madman, you don't have to help me first. If I can't deal with it, you can attack. If its poisonous arrows hurt you, you'll be in trouble. Enfone wanted to help, but Yun Chujio quickly stopped him. Although the scarlet poison frog was equivalent to a human at the 6th level of the Spirit Emperor realm, it was not used to the cold weather. At most, it could only display the 3rd level of the Spirit Emperor realm. She could still defeat it if she gave it her all. Yun Chujio dodged the poison arrow and the scarlet poison frog's tongue while using lightning to strike its body. What made her depressed was that the scarlet poison frog's skin and flesh were extremely tough. Even though a few heavenly lightning bolts had struck it, only a shallow trace was left behind. Yun Chujio frowned. If this continued, it would be extremely disadvantageous to her. The scarlet poison frog basically did not expend much energy and was able to force her to dodge in all directions. As time passed, her physical strength would be exhausted. She did not know what was the scarlet poison frog's weakness. Could it also be its behind? However, it was too difficult to attack its behind. She might as well try attacking its eyes. As Yun Chuzhou thought of this, she struck the scarlet poison frog's eyes with lightning. The scarlet poison frog hurriedly dodged. Yun Chuzhou was delighted. It seemed that the eyes were indeed the weakest part of the scarlet poison frog's body. Therefore, she focused her attack on the eyes of the scarlet poison frog. The scarlet poison frog was very angry. This human seemed to only have the spiritual power of the second level of the spirit cultivator realm. Why could he persist for so long without being defeated? It was really detestable. The scarlet poison frog suddenly opened its mouth and spat out a large amount of poisonous fog. It was very proud. This was its trump card. There was once a purple-ringed double-eyed flood dragon that was about the same level as it in the ice lake. In the end, it relied on this poisonous fog to kill it. This little human was bound to die. The area of the poisonous fog was very large. Even if he could hide, he would not be able to escape. As expected, Yun Chuzhou inhaled a bit of the poisonous fog. However, the strange grass in her dantian immediately swallowed the poison. Moreover, it urged Yun Chuzhou to absorb more. It was a good thing. This herb loved these delicious poisons the most. When the scarlet poison frog saw that the human in front of it was not dead but was still breathing in the poisonous fog, as if he was eating something delicious, it was instantly dumbfounded. While the scarlet poison frog was still in a daze, Yun Chuzhou struck its eyes with lightning. Chapter 706, Fierce Battle. While the scarlet poison frog was still in a daze, Yun Chuzhou successfully attacked it and the lightning struck the scarlet poison frog's left eye. The scarlet poison frog let out a miserable cry and shot a few poisonous arrows at Yun Chuzhou. Although the scarlet poison frog hated Yun Chuzhou in its heart, it knew that it was in a disadvantageous position. The extremely low temperature had slowed down its movements. Moreover, its eye was injured, so it had the intention to retreat. After the scarlet poison frog spat out a few poisonous arrows, it turned around and quickly jumped in the direction of the ice lake. Yun Chuzhou had spent a lot of effort to lure it out, so she naturally would not let it go back just like that. She chased after it and continuously struck the scarlet poison frog with lightning. However, the scarlet poison frog was determined to retreat back into the ice lake. It actually went all out and let Yun Chuzhou strike its body with lightning. It was fine as long as it did not hit its eyes. Yun Chuzhou quickly let the strange grass release its scent again. As expected, the scarlet poison frog started to hesitate. On one hand, it had an extremely alluring scent, and on the other hand, it was a threat to its life. It gritted its teeth and actually resisted the scent of the strange grass, continuing its hop in the direction of the ice lake. Yun Chuzhou stomped her feet angrily. If she let it return to the ice lake, it would be the same as letting it go. It would have been a waste of effort. Master, let me out. I will use the voice of enchantment to slow it down, the flaming three-tailed fox king said to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou was delighted and quickly let it out. The flaming three-tailed fox king jumped to a place where the frog could not attack and roared. The scarlet poison frog was already distracted by the fragrance of the strange grass. Now that it was attacked by the fox king's charm, it was stunned for a moment. Although the time was short, it was enough for Yun Chuzhou to jump in front of it and block its path. Yun Chuzhou shot another lightning bolt at the right eye of the scarlet poison frog. Although the scarlet poison frog tried its best to dodge, it was still injured by the lightning bolt. Yun Chuzhou did not dare to relax. She shot another lightning bolt at its right eye. The scarlet poison frog's vision was damaged and its attack power was greatly reduced. Yun Chuzhou gradually gained the upper hand and aimed specifically at its two eyes. Although the scarlet poison frog's eyes were injured, it desperately shot poison arrows in order to save its life. However, it was already at the end of its tether, and was no longer Yun Chujia's opponent. An hour later, after a fierce battle, the scarlet poison frog finally fell to the ground and died. Yun Chujio put away the scarlet poison frog's corpse, then sat on the ground and panted heavily. This fierce battle was really too exhausting. If it was not to break through her limits, she would not have provoked such a troublesome demon beast no matter what. Two earth-shattering ice bears ran over from afar. The two of them were a little embarrassed that they had run away at the last minute, so they squeaked a few times shyly. Yun Chujio did not mind. These two earth-shattering ice bears were not her spiritual beasts, so it was their instinct to seek benefits and avoid harm. There was nothing to blame them for. When the two earth-shattering ice bears saw that Yun Chujio had no intention of blaming them, they became even more attentive. Anfeng curled his lips. If these two guys wagged their tails again, they would really be no different from puppies. Yun Chujio rested for a full hour and finally recovered. She went to the shore of the ice lake again. Although the frog was killed, Yun Chujio still did not dare to be careless. The ice lake was very large, and there might be other demon beasts in it. She threw the corpse of a giant ice wolf into the ice lake, and sure enough, a few demon beasts appeared in the ice lake. They fought and bit each other. However, Yun Chujio took a look and found that the levels of those demon beasts were not very high. Most of them were at Tier 5 and Tier 6, so there was nothing to be afraid of. Only then did Yun Chujio approach the lakeside to carefully observe the lake, and very soon, she found something strange. Chapter 707, Diving into the bottom of the lake. This shouldn't be the lake water formed by the hot spring. The current here is very fast. There must be an underground river leading to somewhere. However, there is solid ice that doesn't melt all year round down here. How does it lead to other places? Yun Chujio asked in puzzlement. This is indeed a little strange. However, the scarlet poison frog just now usually lives in the hot spring. If this place isn't formed by the hot spring, how can it survive here? Anfeng really did not know much about this. After hearing Yun Chujio's words, he realized that there was something strange about this place. Yun Chujio stretched out her hand to test the temperature of the lake water. It was actually warm water. Yun Chujio rubbed her chin and thought for a moment. Little madman, I want to go into the water to investigate. What? Miss Jiu, are you crazy? You don't have a water repellent bead, and there are so many aquatic demon beasts in there. You will definitely die if you go in. Anfeng was so anxious that he did not even bother to call her by her fake name. Was this not courting death? I'm just going down to take a look. Besides, the chimeric ice plane itself is full of dangers. If everything goes smoothly, how can it be called training? Yun Chujio began to move her limbs, preparing to go into the water. Anfeng saw that Yun Chujio had made up her mind, so he could only say, then I'll go down with you. If anything happens, at least I can take care of you. Yun Chujio nodded, that's fine. However, do you know how to swim? Don't make me save you later. I know how to swim. The corner of Anfeng's eyes twitched. It's not like something's wrong with my brain. If I don't know how to swim, what's the point of going into the water? Big Bear and Bear 2, you two wait here. Well, come back after we go down and take a look, Yun Chujio said to the two earth-shattering ice bears. Unexpectedly, the two earth-shattering ice bears jumped into the water with a plop. They were enjoying themselves in the water. They had been drooling over the lake for a long time but were afraid of the scarlet poison frog, so they did not dare to approach it. Now that the scarlet poison frog was dead, they naturally had to enjoy it. Yun Chujio touched her nose. Well, she did not say anything. With them protecting her, the safety factor was even higher. After warming up their limbs, Yun Chujio and Enfeng jumped into the ice lake. Enfeng looked at Yun Chujio's awkward paddling posture and his eyes twitched. "Miss Jiu, do you know how to swim?" "Why do I feel like you don't know how to swim?" It was Yun Chujio's first time swimming since she transmigrated. It was inevitable that her posture was a little rusty. However, after a few tries, she felt like she had returned to her previous life. Moreover, after practicing, her body became more flexible and the interval between her breaths became longer. Very quickly, she swam happily in the lake like a small fish. Enfeng was dumbfounded. Could it be that her heavenly spirit root allows her to learn to swim faster than others? Isn't this too much? As there were two earth-shattering ice bears by the side, those aquatic demon beasts did not dare to approach Yun Chujio and the others, which saved them a lot of trouble. After Yun Chujio's swimming skill came back online, she took a deep breath and dived into the water. Enfeng also dived into the water. The two earth-shattering ice bears did not hold their breath for that long. After trying a few times, they gave up and started to play on the lake. After Yun Chujio dived in, she found that the water of the ice lake was very clear. There were lush aquatic plants growing at the bottom of the lake. It was really hard to imagine that there was such a lively paradise in the ice field. Chapter 708, Look at your ugly faces. Enfeng no longer hit his cultivation level and used it to intimidate the observing aquatic demon beasts. When the aquatic demon beasts saw Enfeng's true cultivation level, they immediately fled in all directions in fear. Yun Chujio found that the aquatic plants in some places were more luxuriant, and there were bubbles rising. She swam over and pulled the aquatic plants aside. She saw that there was really a hot spring below, and the spring water was constantly flowing out. Could it be that this lake was really formed by a hot spring? Was her deduction wrong? After Yun Chujio surfaced and took a breath, she dived into the water again. This time, she made a new discovery. There was a huge whirlpool a few hundred feet away. Yun Chujio swam toward the whirlpool. The water temperature around the whirlpool had obviously dropped a lot. It seemed that this was the channel to connect with the outside world. The water around the whirlpool was very fast, so Yun Chujio did not dare to get too close. After she surfaced, she swam directly to the other side of the ice lake. Enfeng and the two earth-shattering ice bears also came ashore. After Yun Chujio activated the isolation array, she changed into a set of clothes and used her spiritual power to dry her hair. Then, she said to Enfeng, that whirlpool should be the channel connecting the ice lake and the outside world. However, we don't have a water-repellent bead, so we can only have a chance to investigate further. Enfeng nodded, but he thought to himself, why do we always have to explore? If it wants to connect to the outside world, then so be it. On the other side of the ice lake was an endless ice field. The two earth-shattering ice bears had never been to the other side of the ice lake, so they looked around curiously. After walking for a while, Yun Chujio saw that the sky was getting dark. She found a low slope to shelter from the wind and built a bonfire, preparing to spend the night there. Yun Chujio took out a large iron pot and started to stew snow rabbit meat with radishes. Soon, the fragrance spread. The two earth-shattering ice bears had never eaten cooked food before, so they were drooling. Yun Chujio looked at them with a funny look. Look at how hungry you are. When it's done, they'll give each of you a pot. When the two earth-shattering ice bears heard this, they became extremely flattering. If it were not for their huge bodies, they would have pounced on Yun Chujio and acted coquettishly. Enfeng could not bear to watch. Although the mighty elephant also listened to Miss Jio's words, it still had the dignity of a Tier 8 demonic beast. These two had already thrown aside their moral integrity. They were simply too shameless. Enfeng was cursing in his heart when he frowned. Young master, someone is coming. There are quite a number of people. It seems to be those people from the Goshawk sect. They're not heading in the same direction as us. Why are they here? Yun Chujio craned her neck to look. It really was those people from the Goshawk sect. Could it be that they're going in the opposite direction because they want to go around the ice lake? Is their destination in this direction? Enfong guessed. Yun Chujio nodded. What you said makes sense. Big Bear, Bear 2, you guys go into my spirit beast pouch first. I will let you out after these people leave. Big Bear and Bear 2 were unwillingly put into Yun Chujio's spirit beast pouch. They hated the people of the Goshawk sect to death. If it were not for them, they would have been able to eat delicious stewed meat. Foolish humans. Sooner or later, we'll beat you to death. After a moment, those people came closer. Yun Chujio took a look and saw that they were indeed the people of the Goshawk sect. Lu Qian saw Yun Chujio and Enfong and was shocked. These two people were clearly walking in a different direction from them. How could they have arrived in the same place? Could it be that they swam there from the ice lake? There were many aquatic demon beasts in the ice lake, especially that scarlet poison frog. That was a tier 12 demon beast. How could they not be eaten? Chapter 709, We swam here. Lu Qian was shocked and felt uncertain. He said with a smile, young hero, sure, what a coincidence. I didn't expect to see you again. Yun Chujio said indifferently, well, it's indeed quite a coincidence. However, didn't you go east? To be honest, we went around the ice lake. How did you two get here? Lu Qian stared at Yun Chujio, not showing any change in his expression. It's very simple. We swam here. Why did you have to go so far? It would be more convenient to swim here directly. Yun Chujio said nonchalantly. Lu Qian was stunned. Young hero, sure, you didn't encounter any powerful aquatic demonic beasts. We didn't. We only encountered a few tier 4 ironbone crocodiles. They saw us avoiding them, and we swiftly swam over. Sect leader Lu, from what you said, it seems like there are powerful aquatic demonic beasts in there. How powerful are they? Are they tier 8 or tier 9? Yun Chujio revealed a shocked expression. I've only heard about it. Since you guys didn't run into them, then the rumors must be wrong. I won't disturb your meal any longer. Well, also find a place to rest. Lu Qian saw that Yun Chujio's expression did not seem to be fake. He thought to himself, could it be that these two idiots were so lucky? So they didn't meet the scarlet poison frog? It truly is a fool's fate. Yun Chujio nodded. You can't believe the rumors. Sect leader Lu, please go ahead. Lu Qian and his men also lit a bonfire not far away and began to prepare to eat and rest. Sect leader, those two kids are really lucky. They actually didn't meet the scarlet poison frog. Since they've presented themselves to us, do you want to send them on their way tonight? Zhang Biao thought of the last barbecue incident, and his eyes revealed a look of hatred. Lu Qian shook his head, no rush. If they're not going in the same direction as us tomorrow, we should just ignore them to avoid any complications. If they linger around, we can only kill them. We can prevent the news of us getting the treasure from leaking out. Although Zhang Biao was indignant, he did not dare to disobey Lu Qian's words. He could only start preparing dinner. On the other side, Yun Chujio and Enfong were also discussing their next step. Young master, it seems like the Goshawk sect is looking for treasures in this direction. Should we go back or continue moving forward? Of course we should continue moving forward. This chimeric icefield isn't a part of Goshawk sect. If they know what's good for them, then we won't interfere with each other. If they want to court death, then I don't mind sending them on a journey, Yun Chujio said indifferently. After these few days of trials, she had more confidence in her combat skills. Moreover, there were 2 earth-shattering ice bears in her spirit beast pouch. Unfoam nodded. Even if there was a conflict, those people were nothing to be afraid of. The next day, Yun Chuzhou and Unfoam continued to walk toward the west according to their original plan. Yun Chuzhou muttered as she walked, "Damn it. It's all the fault of those people from the Goshawk sect. Otherwise, I would have let Big Bear carry me on his back." Unfoam's eyes twitched. "It was you who wanted to pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger, all right. If you were willing, you could have gotten Big Bear and Bear 2 out." Behind them, Lu Qian took out a sheepskin scroll map and looked at it. Then, he frowned. These 2 people were walking in the same direction as where they were going. Could it be that they had a treasure map in their hands? That was impossible. When that person gave him the map, he said that it was the only one. Could it be a coincidence? Chapter 710, Simply Too Awesome, wasn't it? Lu Qian secretly shook his head. Perhaps it's just a coincidence. However, since the 2 of you are courting death, then don't blame me. I'll find an opportunity to send you on your way. Young master, they've been following behind us all this time. Could it be that they're trying to harm us? Unfoam whispered. Maybe we accidentally went in the same direction as where they're going. TSK, people who are really blessed don't need to look for these things. It's probably because that treasure is guiding me to take it. Let's go. If we can make a small fortune at the same time, it's not bad either. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Unfoam did not have words. Half a day later, the Goshawk sect's people were still following Yun Chuzhou and the others. Sect leader, it seems that they are also here to search for treasures. Should I chase after them and kill them? Zhang Biao said fiercely. There's no rush. Let's see what the situation is. They won't be able to escape from us anyway, Lu Qian said with a cold smile. Sect leader Lu, I don't think we need to do anything. Look, they're in trouble, an old man with a goatee said. Lu Qian looked up and saw that the 2 people in front of him were surrounded by 5 Tier 8 giant frost lions. He could not help but let out a cold smile. These 2 people were most likely hiding their strength. Let's see how you will deal with them this time. Thinking of this, Lu Qian waved his hand at the crowd, indicating for them to rest on the spot for the time being. The Goshawk sect people sat down on the spot and watched Yun Chuzhou and Unfoam, who were surrounded by the lions. Unfoam was about to make a move when Yun Chuzhou gave him a look. Then, she smiled at one of the largest frost lions and said, "Hey, brother lion, can we discuss something?" The giant frost lion was stunned for a moment. It was the first time it had met a human who did not play by the rules. Discuss? What was there to discuss? However, these 2 weaklings would not be able to escape anyway. There was no harm in listening to what he had to say. Therefore, the giant frost lion let out a low cry. The other 4 lions also halted their actions and stared at Yun Chuzhou with their bull-sized eyes. As you can see, we don't have much meat either. It's probably not enough to fill the gaps between your teeth after eating us. The people behind us are different. There are 20 of them, enough for you to have a full meal. Yun Chuzhou secretly pointed at the Goshawk sect and the others behind her. The lion looked in the direction that Yun Chuzhou pointed at. Sure enough, there was a group of people sitting on the ground behind them. It rolled its eyes and thought to itself, it's the same if I bite you to death before eating them. Why do we have to let go of 2 pieces of meat that are close to our mouths? Yun Chuzhou continued, of course, we can't mistreat Brother Lion. I have the bodies of 2 giant ice wolves here. Can I use them to exchange for our lives? They have much more meat than us, and they even have inner cores. The giant frost lion was a little tempted. The body of a giant ice wolf truly had much more meat than these two weak chickens, and it could even eat inner cores. However, it seemed a little unwilling to let these two humans go just like that. Brother Lion, even if you eat us, it will still be a waste of energy, right? It will be difficult for you to deal with the people behind you. Why don't you just take the two giant ice wolves for free and save some energy? This is such a good deal. Also, let me tell you, there are a few fatties in the group behind you. It will definitely be enough for you to have a good meal. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. She was secretly happy. This move of mine is simply too good, right? Chapter 7:11 will make you suffer. The giant frost lion chief thought for a moment and felt that it was a good deal, so it nodded and agreed to Yun Chujia's conditions. Yun Chuzhou immediately threw out the two corpses of the giant ice wolves and gave Anfeng a look. The two of them jumped up and flew away quickly. Anfeng lit a candle in his heart as he ran. TSK, you guys are asking for death if you want to get your hands on Miss Jiu. The ninth Miss did not even need to make a move herself. She could just move her mouth and a beast would take revenge for her. Although the 5 giant frost lions could not kill those people, they would still make things difficult for them. When he first saw the 9th Miss put away the bodies of the giant ice wolves, he thought it was pointless at first. He did not expect it to end up being so useful. It could lure scarlet poison frogs and even be used as payment to higher beasts. It was like killing multiple birds with one arrow. Anfeng was completely impressed by Yun Chuzhou, but Lu Qian and the others were dumbfounded. Who could tell them the reason why the 5 giant frost lions did not chase after the 2 people but pounced on them instead? The 5 giant frost lions pounced in front of Lu Qian and the others. They realized that they could not beat them, but they could not let their new prey slip away. They had to kill a few weak ones first. Therefore, both sides engaged in a chaotic battle. At that moment, Yun Chuzhou stood on a small slope and enjoyed the show. Little brats, you dare to provoke me? I'll make you pay for it. The 5 giant frost lions were defeated very quickly. They unwillingly ran back to the place where they came from and dragged the 2 giant frost wolves' corpses along. To preserve their strength, Lu Qian and the others did not chase after them. The old man with the goatee said angrily, "Those 2 people are cunning. They used the demon beasts' corpses to stall for time and then escaped. We are the unlucky ones." However, this also shows that although they hid their strength, their actual spiritual power is not that high. Otherwise, they would not have escaped, said the other old man with the triangular eyes. Lu Qian nodded. In that case, we will soon reach the point marked on the map. We will find an opportunity to kill them. Seeing that Lu Qian and the others had gotten rid of the giant frost lions, Yun Chuzhou hopped and continued to walk forward. Little madman, what kind of treasure do you think they're looking for? Who would hide the treasure in this chimeric icefield? Anfeng shook his head. I'm not sure, but it seems like the Goshawk sect is very sure that they will find something here. Maybe there really is treasure somewhere nearby. Yun Chuzhou nodded and continued to hop forward. As she walked, she muttered, "But this is an endless field of ice. Who knows where the treasure is buried? Why don't we slow down and follow them?" Anfeng nodded. The 2 of them slowed down and found a place to rest. Lu Qian and the others soon caught up to them. Lu Qian asked with a fake smile, "Young hero, sure, why aren't you leaving?" Sect leader Lu, to be honest, our spiritual power can't be compared to yours. If we walk for too long, our spiritual power will be drained quickly. We need to rest for a while. Otherwise, we won't be able to do anything for a while, Yun Chuzhou said helplessly. Hearing Yun Chujia's words, Lu Qian was even more certain that the 2 of them were also here for the treasure. However, How did they find this place? Could it be that they also had a treasure map on them? Lu Qian probed, young hero sure, let's not beat around the bush. You are also here for the treasure, aren't you? If that's the case, how about we work together? If we get the treasure, we will split it equally with you, how about it? Chapter 712, Something for Nothing. Lu Qian stared at Yun Chuzhou, not wanting to miss the slightest change in her expression. Yun Chuzhou sneered, Sect leader Lu, aren't your conditions too unfair? Split equally. There are only 2 of us, but there are 20 of you. Without you, we could still find the treasure. Why would we cooperate with you and lose out? Zhang Biao heard Yun Chuzhou's words and was instantly enraged. You little brat, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't push your luck, I will kill you. Lu Qian snorted in displeasure. Zhang Biao, don't be rude. Young hero sure, in that case, how should we distribute the treasure if we find it? Lu Qian was not sure if Yun Chuzhou had the map, but when he heard Yun Chuzhou say that she had the confidence, his heart beat faster. Could it be that he really had the map? Where did he get his map from? Could it be that the person gave it to him? No, he had to trick him. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. Of course it's 50-50. The treasure is split into 2, and our 2 families will split it in half. If you agree to that, we'll work together. If you don't, then we'll find it ourselves. The Goshawk sect people sneered. They felt that this kid was really arrogant. What right did he have to split it equally with them? It was a fool's dream. Unexpectedly, Lu Qian smiled and said, if that's the case, I'll agree with young hero sure. After young hero sure has rested enough, we'll go together. How about it? Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, sect leader Lu is indeed a straightforward person. I've rested enough. Let's hurry up and set out. Lu Qian nodded and glanced at the people from the Goshawk sect, indicating that they should not act rashly. Anfeng thought to himself that he would never be able to match up to Miss Zhou's ability to make up lies in his next life. This made it sound like she was really there to look for treasures. However, weren't you afraid that you would be exposed if you went with these people? Anfeng's worries were unnecessary because Yun Chuzhou, this habitual liar, was capable of making any lie seem like the truth. Sect leader Lu, if I knew that we had the same goal, I would have persuaded you to come with us when we first met. You guys took such a long detour, it's such a waste of energy. Yun Chuzhou said with a seemingly heartless smile. Yes, but it's not too late now. If we work together, we will definitely be able to find the treasure. I wonder if young hero sure's map could be borrowed from Lu Qian. Lu Qian said with a smile, but his eyes were fixed on Yun Chuzhou. Anfeng's heart tightened. This time, it was most likely going to be exposed. Unexpectedly, Yun Chuzhou spread her hands. To tell you the truth, I destroyed the map after I memorized it. It's safer this way. Lend me your map. I'll show you where it's different. Lu Qian hesitated for a moment, but he thought that since the 2 of them could not escape from his grasp, it would not hurt to let him take a look. Perhaps he might find something new. Lu Qian handed the sheepskin map to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou took it and looked at it carefully, then, she showed a shocked and angry expression. God! Our map is the same. I spent a lot of money to get the map back then, and the person who sold it to me told me that it was the only copy. I didn't expect that I would fall for it. Anfeng did not show it on his face, but the admiration in his heart for Yun Chuzhou was like a torrential river. Miss Zhou had a photographic memory. Although she had only looked at the map for a short while, she must have already memorized it. This was the definition of getting something for nothing. Chapter 713, The Red Spider Lily Jade Token has reappeared. Lu Qian's heart trembled when he heard Yun Chujia's words. Young hero, sure, don't be angry. It's hard to know the seller's true intentions. I wonder what material that map was made of. Was it also made of sheepskin? Yun Chujio shook her head. That's not it. It was drawn on a jade slip. I destroyed it after I memorized it. Lu Qian became suspicious when he heard Yun Chujia's words. The person who gave him the sheepskin map clearly said that there was only one copy of the map. Why would there be a jade slip? Could it be that this Shirling was lying? However, if he did not have the map, he would not have been able to find this place. Could it be that the person thought that he would not be able to complete the mission, so he found someone else as backup? Young hero, sure, may I know what the person who sold you the jade slip looks like? Lu Qian brought Yun Chujio to the side and asked in a low voice. Yun Chujio thought to herself, she was fucking spouting nonsense. How would she know what he looked like? She spouted more nonsense. That person was wearing a mask. I did not see what he looked like, but there was a jade token hanging on his waist. There were strange patterns drawn on it, so I did not see it clearly. Lu Qian's expression changed. Yun Chujio noticed and she immediately revealed a shocked expression. Sect leader Lu, could it be that your goatskin map was also bought from that person? Lu Qian hesitated for a moment. When he thought about it, sooner or later, this Shirling would die, so there was no harm in talking about it. Thus, he said in a low voice, that's right. The person who gave me the map was exactly the same as you said. However, I saw that the jade plate on that person's waist seemed to draw the pattern of the red spider lily. Yun Chujio slapped her thigh. Oh my god. Now that you mention it, it really is the red spider lily. That scoundrel. I didn't expect him to lie to the two of us. Lu Qian felt a little uneasy. That person had promised him that as long as he found the treasure and gave it to that person would be able to elevate the Goshawk sect into a super sect that surpassed the 4 great sections. Moreover, he had consumed the medicinal pill that person had given him, and his spiritual power had indeed increased by 2 levels immediately. However, after hearing what Shirling said, it seemed that person did not trust him. If he had trusted him, he would not have sent this young man to search for treasure as well. What was the reason for that person to go through all this? Young hero, sure, I wonder what else that person said when he sold you the jade slip. Yun Chujia's heart skipped a beat. It was not easy to answer this question, as it might arouse the old man's suspicion. She wanted to say something specious, so she said, he said that he would appear after I obtained the item and that he would give me a surprise. Tui. If I obtained the treasure inside, what else would I want from him? However, I now suspect that he was toying with me and cheating me of my spirit stones. Lu Qian frowned. He really could not understand what that person meant. Not only did this Shirling have low spiritual power, but he also did not have any hints of shrewdness. Why did that person want to sell the map to him? Lu Qian's brain was hurting from thinking. He also could not understand that person's intention. How would he know that Yun Chujio was purely acting? Even if he racked his brain, he still could not understand it. While Lu Qian was bewildered, Yun Chujio's heart was also in turmoil. The last time, the fake master of the League of Assassins had a jade token with the red spider lily pattern engraved on it. She had never found any clues about it. She had not expected that she would discover this matter by accident. Although Lu Qian didn't say it, that person would not give him the map for no reason. It was likely that he was plotting something with the treasure. Could it be related to the Eye of the Earth? Chapter 714, The Sun on the Map. Yun Chujio was puzzled. If the treasure were related to the Eye of the Earth, why did that person not come and personally look for it? Or did he send his own people to find it? Why did he ask the Goshawk sect to find it for him? Yun Chujio thought about it for 3 reasons. First, it was inconvenient for that person to come personally. Moreover, he didn't have his own power at the moment, so he could only use the Goshawk sect to complete it. Second, it was extremely dangerous there. Most likely, it would be a disaster. That person didn't want to put himself in danger. Third, that person wasn't sure what was inside. He wasn't even sure if the map was real or fake, so it was not worth putting himself at risk. Since that was the case, should she continue to follow them to search for treasures? Yun Chujio thought about it, then gritted her teeth and decided to keep going. She had to go. If she wanted to find the person who hired assassins to kill her, she had to start with the jade token of the red spider lily. Moreover, the faction that had the jade token of the red spider lily had a big plan. If they were to find the Eye of the Earth, they would destroy the Azure Mystic Continent. Although she was not a person with a strong sense of justice, she had to stop them for the people she cared about. Yun Chujio and Lu Qian both had their own thoughts. However, both of them were very good at acting. On the surface, they were still talking and laughing. Everyone followed the map and soon found the place marked on the map. This was a mountain peak covered in snow that was not very high. The Goshawk sect's people searched for a long time but did not find anything special there. Where was the treasure hidden? Lu Qian took out the sheepskin map and looked at it again and again. It was indeed here, but where would he start looking? Young hero sure, did you find anything? Lu Qian had no choice but to ask Yun Chujio. Sect leader Lu, I wonder if you have found that there is a picture of the sun on the top of this map? Yun Chujio asked with a smile. Lu Qian was stunned. He quickly looked at the sheepskin map in his hand. Sure enough, there was a ball of the sun on the upper right side of the map. Young hero sure, could the sun be pointing to something? Yun Chujio giggled. I'm just guessing. Think about it. Why would he draw a sun on a map? It's not a drawing. Lu Qian nodded. Young hero sure, what you said makes sense. Then what exactly does the sun mean? If I'm not wrong, it should mean that this mountain appears differently at a specific time. Only then can we find the place where the treasure is hidden. Looking at the position of the sun, it should be 3 o'clock in the morning. Yun Chujio looked at the sun on the map and said. Zhang Biao scoffed, what nonsense. I've never heard of a specific time for treasure hunting. Lu Qian glared at Zhang Biao unhappily, don't be rude. I think what young hero sure said makes sense. If you still can't find any traps, well wait until 3 in the morning tomorrow. Zhang Biao angrily continued to lead his people around the mountain to search for clues. Unfortunately, they had already combed the entire mountain and could not find any useful clues. Everyone could not help but feel a little discouraged. They could only set up camp on the spot and hoped a clue would appear at the specific time the next day. Yun Chujio found an opportunity to explain the situation to Enfong. Enfong was also very surprised. Miss Jiu, we don't know anything about what might be waiting inside. Are you really determined to go in? Yes. If the thing inside is really related to the Eye of the Earth, it must not fall into the wrong hands. We must get to it first, Yun Chujio said firmly. Chapter 7:15, Shifting Mountain Peak. Enfong saw that Yun Chujio had made up her mind, so he could not persuade her anymore. After entering, he could only act according to the situation. The next day, everyone waited for the clock to strike 3. Zhang Biao curled his lips and said, Humph. You're deliberately stalling. I've never heard of a specific time for treasure hunting since I was young. It's almost 3 o'clock. If nothing happens, I'll smack you to death. Some people echoed the sentiment, that's right. You're spouting nonsense. You can tell that it's already midnight just by looking at the sun pattern. Do you think you can predict it? Lu Qian glanced at them unhappily. Zhang Biao and the person who spoke shut their mouths embarrassedly. However, they were calculating in their hearts. If there were no clues when it was already midnight, then they would take the opportunity to kill this brat. Very soon, it was already midnight. Everyone's gaze focused on the mountain peak as they hoped to find a clue. However, they were quickly disappointed. This mountain peak did not seem to be any different from before. Zhang Biao smiled sinisterly. Smelly brat, are you playing us for fools? Master Zhang will cripple you today. Lu Qian frowned. Just as he was about to stop him, he heard a few people jeering. Sect leader, this brat is extremely arrogant. Let Zhang Biao teach him a good lesson. Lu Qian's eyes flickered. He had never seen Shirling make a move before. He could take this opportunity to see how strong he was. If he was no match for him, he could just make a move to protect his life. Seeing that Lu Qian did not speak, Zhang Biao reached out his palm and swung at Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou dodged Zhang Biao's attack and sneered, Sect leader Lu, don't you want to go in and search for the treasure? Lu Qian's heart skipped a beat and quickly stopped Zhang Biao, young hero sure, did you find anything? Don't be too bothered with them. They are all boorish and only want to spar with each other. There is no malice in them. Zhang Biao, stand down. Zhang Biao unwillingly withdrew his hand and gave Yun Chuzhou a fierce look. He thought to himself, if you find any clues, I will let you off temporarily. If you are deliberately bluffing, I will kill you then. Yun Chuzhou did not even look at him. Such a clown was not worth taking too seriously. She jumped up the mountain peak and walked to the part that was illuminated by the sunlight. She pushed aside the snow and carefully examined it. The Goshawk sect group initially still had hope. An hour later, when they saw that Yun Chuzhou still did not find anything, they could not help but sneer. It seemed that this stone spirit was just stalling for time. They wanted to see how long he could stall for. Lu Qian frowned. Just as he was about to say something, he heard a loud rumble. The entire mountain peak had strangely shifted, revealing a deep cave. Everyone was stunned. Firstly, they did not expect that Yun Chuzhou had actually found the mechanism. Secondly, that the entire mountain had moved. The person who created this mechanism must have been incredibly powerful, right? Yun Chuzhou jumped down from the mountain peak and patted the remaining snow off her hands. Then, she said to Lu Qian, Sect leader Lu, shall we all go down together? Or should we each leave someone outside to guard the entrance? Lu Qian rolled his eyes and thought to himself, if we leave one person outside, it would make people worried. Therefore, he smiled and said, if we want to make a fortune, let's all go down together. Yun Chuzhou nodded. In that case, let's go down. Sect leader Lu, please. Lu Qian's eyes flickered. Who knew what dangers were down there? He did not want to be a sacrificial lamb. Hence, he said, young hero sure, you have contributed greatly to finding the entrance. You should go first. Chapter 7:16, Sea Wave Decoration. Yun Chuzhou smiled and walked to the cave. She looked inside and saw a stone staircase leading down. Yun Chuzhou took out the illuminating pearl to illuminate the cave and climbed down the stone staircase. Anfeng followed her down as well. Lu Qian saw the illuminating pearl that Yun Chuzhou was holding and his heart skipped a beat. It seemed that this stone spirit's family was indeed very rich. Could it be that that person was trying to cheat him of his money? Even if he was trying to cheat him of his money, he wouldn't have given him a real map. Couldn't he just randomly make up a fake one? At this moment, Lu Qian's thoughts had already been deeply misled by Yun Chuzhou. He had seriously gone astray. When Yun Chujio reached the bottom of the stone stairs, she realized that there were green stone slabs under her feet. On both sides of the stone walls and the green stone slabs under her feet, were drawings of waves. Yun Chujio was a little dumbfounded. They were in an ice field, why were there drawings of waves here? Could it be that this place was not an ice field but a sea? Lu Qian and the people from the Goshawk sect also climbed down. At the moment when everyone reached the bottom, there was a loud rumble above their heads. The mountain peak entrance had been sealed again. Everyone could not help but cry out in surprise. It was over. The entrance was sealed. How would they get out? They should have listened to the stone spirit and left a few people outside. Lu Qian also regretted his rash decision earlier. However, now that things had come to this, he could only continue to move forward and look for what that person wanted him to find. After walking through a narrow and long tunnel, a stone door appeared in front of everyone. The stone door was still engraved with the pattern of waves and was emitting a faint blue light. It gave people the illusion that they were at the bottom of the sea. Yun Chujio stopped her footsteps and quietly became more vigilant. There might be a formation here, so it was better to be careful. Seeing that Yun Chujio stopped, Zhang Biao cursed unhappily, "Go ahead, why are you standing there?" Yun Chujio said disdainfully, "Can't you see that the stone door is closed?" "Naturally, I'm thinking of how to open it." Zhang Biao curled his lips. "What a piece of trash. Just push it open. Get lost. Watch Master Zhang open the door." Zhang Biao said as he walked in front of the large stone door. He raised his foot and kicked the stone door. Yun Chujio thought to herself, "This is really a fool who wants an early grave." Shi and Feng suddenly retreated and activated the spirit energy shield to protect their bodies. Lu Qian and a few elders also quickly activated the spirit energy shield when they saw the situation develop. A few Goshawk sect disciples curled their lips disdainfully. They thought to themselves, "These people are too timid. It's just a stone door. What kind of powerful mechanism could there possibly be here?" Moments later, hundreds of blue water arrows shot out from the stone door. Zhang Biao was instantly turned into Swiss cheese, and two of the Goshawk sect disciples who did not dodge in time were also shot to death. Although some Goshawk sect disciples escaped the disaster, they were also injured by the water arrows. The most terrifying thing was that the water arrows were highly toxic. The injured disciples screamed a few times as they were all poisoned to death. Everyone had horrified expressions on their faces. They did not expect to lose 5 people before they had even found anything. This place was truly extremely dangerous. Just as everyone felt bewildered, the stone door opened on its own. A faint blue light shone out from the inside. It gave off a feeling of mystery mixed with awe. Although it made people feel terrified, a desire to find the truth was also piqued in them. The people of the Goshawk sect who were at the level of the spiritual emperor could still control themselves. However, those disciples who were at the level of a spirit cultivator could not hold back and were eager to walk in. Chapter 7:17, Mermaids. Yun Chujio slowly followed behind the Goshawk sect disciples. Lu Qian and the others gritted their teeth and entered the stone door vigilantly. After everyone had entered, the stone door closed with a rumble. Despite that, everyone was too distracted by what was in front of them. They were in a dome-shaped hall. Inside lay a stretch of azure seawater which seemed to defy all reason. Not only was there swaying seaweed but there were also all kinds of beautiful fish swimming around. Everyone felt as if they were in an underwater world. Oh my God! It's too beautiful. Is this the Crystal Palace? It could also be the Dragon King's palace. The dragon is the richest divine beast. We're going to be rich. Could it be that the seawater is sealed inside? But how do these fish breathe? Why don't we see how it works? A goshawk sect disciple took out an axe and was about to chop at the stone slab beneath his feet. Stop! Are you trying to get us killed? This time, Lu Qian reacted faster and gave the disciple a hard slap. The disciple was in a state of excitement just now, and the slap woke him up. He was a little stunned, and then said, "Sect leader, I wasn't myself just now." Before the disciple finished his words, a few other disciples took out their swords and sabers and were about to strike the floor and the stone wall, but they were stopped by a few elders. "Everyone, this place is really strange. There are things that confuse the mind. Everyone must be careful." At this moment, Lu Qian already had the intention to retreat. However, there was no way out now, so he could only move forward. However, after looking around, they did not find any other exits. Could it be that there was only an empty room here? Just as everyone was puzzled, blue smoke seeped out from the ground and the walls. In the end, it formed a beautiful woman with a fish tail. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. A mermaid? Oh, this is the first time I have seen a living mermaid. She is so beautiful. Her breasts are tall, her waist tender, and her fish tail has a faint blue glow. A few male disciples of the goshawk sect couldn't help but drool. They suddenly jumped forward and shouted their excitement. By the time Lu Qian and a few elders tried to stop them, it was already too late. The woman gently waved her hand, and the male disciples disappeared from where they were. Just when everyone was stunned, the woman smiled and said, "It's been a long time since I've added new fish. This time, there are 5 more. This is really something to celebrate." Everyone followed the direction of the woman's finger and saw that there were 5 fish inside the wall ramming the wall. The fishes opened and closed their mouths as if they were shouting something. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. This mermaid woman could turn a person into small fish. It was too terrifying. Then, under this floor, wouldn't the wall be filled with people? Lu Qian's clothes were drenched in a cold sweat. His voice trembled as he said, "Fairy, we entered this place by mistake. We didn't mean to offend you. Can you let us out?" Turning into a fish and being sealed in the stone wall was a fate worse than death. Lu Qian was filled with regret. He hated the person who gave him the sheepskin map. This was not a place with treasure. This was purgatory in the human world. Chapter 718, The mermaid let out a laugh that sounded like a silver bell. Entered by mistake. This place is so well hidden. How could you have entered by mistake? Did I kidnap you? This laughter that sounded like a silver bell made everyone's hair stand on end. Lu Qian's eyes flickered. "Fairy, to be honest, the reason we were able to enter was because this kid found the mechanism on the mountain peak. We were all led here by him." Lu Qian pointed at Yun Chuzhou as he spoke. The mermaid looked at Yun Chuzhou. "So it's a little girl. Since you found the mechanism, as a reward, you can choose the type of fish you want to become. Tell me, which type of fish do you want to become?" "Little girl." Lu Qian and the others looked at Yun Chuzhou in shock. They did not expect that this stone spirit was a woman disguised as a man. Yun Chuzhou looked at the mermaid with a smile. "I'm sorry. I only love eating fish and don't want to turn into one myself. If you want to turn them into fish, then go ahead. I have no objections." When Lu Qian and the others heard her words, they immediately shouted, "Fairy, the culprit is her. Please turn her into a fish and let us go." The mermaid woman sneered, "Let you go? None of you will escape. Little girl, since you don't want to choose, then turn into a toad-like fish with them." After the mermaid woman said that, she waved her sleeve and the goshawk sect and foam disappeared in an instant. Only Yun Chujio was standing still. The mermaid was stunned. She waved her sleeves again, but Yun Chujio was still standing there as if nothing had happened. The mermaid smiled charmingly. Yo, this is the first time in tens of thousands of years that someone has resisted my illusion magic. Little girl, how did you do it? Yun Chujio giggled. It's very simple. I simply don't believe that you can turn a person into a fish. Since I don't believe in it, how can I be affected by your illusion? The mermaid was stunned. Initially, she thought that Yun Chujio had a powerful spiritual artifact on her. She did not expect it to be such a simple reason. That's right. An illusion is simply an artificial atmosphere that allows you to be immersed in it. That's why if you did not believe it at all and looked at it with a scrutinizing attitude, you would naturally not fall for it. However, despite it being a simple concept, many people could not tell reality and illusion apart from the other. It was very easy to be immersed in it. The mermaid laughed softly, and her charming laughter gradually turned into a man's deep laughter. Yun Chujio finally saw the real situation in front of her. Anfeng and the goshawk sect members fainted on the ground. There were no seawater or fish on the surrounding stone walls and the floor. They were only drawing some patterns of the sea waves. In front of Yun Chujio was a round platform. A man lay on the round platform. To be precise, it was a man with a human body and a fish tail. 3 huge chains fixed him on the round platform. The man had a pair of deep blue eyes. He was naked and his long ink-like hair was draped over his body. The man was very handsome, yet there was a hint of gloominess mixed in. Yun Chujio's eyes were wide open. Oh my, a handsome fish. If this was to be sold as a portrait, it would definitely be very popular. Little girl, you are the first human who has not been bewitched by my illusion in tens of thousands of years. In that case, I will spare your life. You can stay and accompany me to relieve my boredom. The merman's deep blue eyes flickered with a faint light. Chapter 719, Big Brother Merman. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and pointed at the people on the ground. What about them? Them? Of course they'll become food, the man sneered. Yun Chujio was shocked, but she felt relieved after thinking about it. Mermaids were also demonic beasts, so they naturally ate people. She pointed at Anfeng and said with a smile, Brother Merman, it's fine if you eat others, but this is my companion. Can you spare him? The mermaid's man was slightly stunned. Little girl, why aren't you surprised when you heard that I ate humans? The strong prey on the weak, it's just natural selection. What's there to be surprised about? Humans eat you demonic beasts, and demonic beasts eat humans. It's the same logic, so there's nothing to be surprised about, Yun Chujio said indifferently. Ha ha ha. The law of the jungle. Natural selection. Little girl, you're really interesting. At first, the man laughed out loud, but later, he turned crazy. His long hair danced in the wind. Yun Chujio secretly wiped her saliva. She had to admit that this merman was really beautiful, even when he went crazy, he was still so beautiful. According to what you said, is it natural for our merfolk to be exterminated? Our merfolk have always been aloof from worldly affairs. We lived quietly in the deep sea. What right do you have to say that we have violated the Tian Dao and sent down heavenly thunder to exterminate our merfolk? The merman's dark blue eyes began to shed blood tears. They fell to the ground and turned into blood-red beads, sparkling with a lustrous light. Yun Chujio had heard of mermaids' tears before, but those were not the tears of mermaids but were produced by a type of sea clam. These were the real mermaid's tears. Brother Merman, don't be sad. That old bastard Tian Dao often did such evil things. Tell me, how did your mermaid clan offend that old bastard Tian Dao? Yun Chujio said as she secretly put away the small beads. The merman was originally full of grief and indignation, but when he heard Yun Chujio's words, he was immediately dumbfounded and sat speechlessly for a long time. He thought he had heard wrongly. Little girl, what did you say just now? I said, that old bastard Tian Dao has always done evil things to the heavens. Whenever he had nothing to do, he would strike me with lightning. Fuck, sooner or later, I will find him to take revenge. Yun Chujio puffed up her cheeks and said angrily. The merman was shocked. You dare to criticize Tian Dao? He has let me down, why can't I criticize him? He does things according to his whims, there is no so-called fairness. Not only did I scold him, but I will also seek revenge on him in the future. Yun Chujio said angrily. The merman was stunned, he could not help but laugh at the sky. Yes. What you said makes sense. Tian Dao is unfair, why do we still have to fear him? If he was virtuous, he would not have punished us merfolk for no reason. Well said. Tian Dao is indeed an old bastard. He is a bastard. Following the merman's words, rumbling thunder sounded above his head. The man could not help but smile bitterly. Little girl, it's fine if you scold him, but if I scold Tian Dao, the heavenly thunder will strike me. It's good that it's here. I've lived long enough, it's better to destroy this place. However, the merman was obviously overthinking. Despite the thunder outside, that place was not affected. Big brother merman, tell me, how did your merfolk offend that old bastard Tian Dao? Yun Chujio was already immune to the thunder, so she did not care about being struck by it. Chapter 720, 10,000-year-old Darksteel. Just as the merman was about to speak, he suddenly clutched his head with his hands. It was obvious that he was in great pain. Ah, why can't I remember? My head hurts. Ah. Brother merman, don't think about it if you can't remember. Let's talk about something else. Yun Chujio quickly changed the topic when she saw that the merman was in pain. The merman took a while to calm down, then said with a bitter smile, the person who trapped me here must have sealed off a part of my memory. In the beginning, I didn't even remember what I said to you just now. Maybe I only remembered a little after the seal was broken. Brother merman, who trapped you here? Can you still remember that? The merman shook his head. I can't. I've been trapped here for more than 10,000 years. Then, how did you survive these 10,000 years? Yun Chujio asked curiously. The merman laughed self-deprecatingly. I don't know what methods the people who trapped me here used. After some time, some corpses of demon beasts and humans would appear on the round platform, and I would eat them. After 1,000 years, there would occasionally be cultivators who would find their way in. No one could resist my illusions, and they were all eaten by me. Yun Chujio's heart moved. Big brother merman, can you let me see those corpses that appeared on their own? A few days ago, a few more people happened to fall in. They're in that corner. Go and see for yourself. The merman pointed to a corner in the west. Yun Chujio jumped over and saw the bodies of 6 people. Yun Chujio saw that the nails of the 6 people were slightly blue, and her heart stirred. She further inspected the bodies before she returned. Brother merman, I'm afraid that you will gradually lose your memory. It's not just the seal. Those people were all poisoned to death. After you eat them, the poison will naturally seep into your body. Over time, your memory will be completely lost. Moreover, the poison will make you lose your mind and even go crazy. The merman was stunned for a moment before he smiled bitterly. The person who trapped me was really cunning. If that's the case, why didn't he just kill me? Could it be that he wanted to torture me? We merfolk have never eaten humans. To survive, I had to become as brutal as those low-level demon beasts. Perhaps this is the person's goal. Not only did he destroy our people, but he also wanted to turn me into a demon. Brother Merman, I see that your spiritual power is quite high. Can't you do anything to this iron chain? Yun Chujio saw that the merman was about to fall into madness again, so she quickly changed the topic. This is a 10,000-year-old dark steel chain. I've tried countless methods over the past 10,000 years, but I still can't get rid of this chain. Only the person with the key can open it, the merman said with a bitter smile. Yun Chujio recalled that the cage that Shui Wuji had trapped her in back then was also made of 10,000-year-old dark steel. It was indeed extremely tough and could not be opened without a key. However, Big Brother Merman, isn't the 10,000-year-old dark steel able to trap spiritual power? Why can you still create illusions and even use them to obtain food? The merman said proudly, our merfolk race cultivates differently from other races. What we cultivate is not spiritual power but elemental energy. Therefore, this 10,000-year-old dark steel cannot trap our elemental energy. Yun Chujio's heart moved. Big Brother Merman, I'm afraid this is the reason why that old bastard Tian Dao sent down the heavenly punishment. He will suppress those who might threaten him. Like how I have the heavenly thunder spirit root in me, so he keeps trying to kill me because of it. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.